Whenever you feel.
It's been a long one, and I need someone so high. Pull up in the
Wash away the toxicity.
With my brush on, and yeah, the candles moving, and yeah, the candles moving, and it's time for you to join the current. Here we go again. Critically drinking, stay thirsty, my friend. Burning the clouds and hoping never. If it does,
Hustle culture. Hustle and grind culture is another version of it. I can sleep when I'm dead. You'll be dead.
it's showtime. Come in and have a drink with the whole crew. Come on and join the panel or draw from the chat. Do it how you wanna do. The misfits keep the whole chat lit. Ooh, and soon you'll be a part of it too. So come back again, my friend, or we'll come find you. Here we go again.
What's up?
Critically drinking, stay thirsty, my friend. Burning love and hoping never. If it does, oh, we'll be back again. Now let's make one thing clear. Because of you is why we're here. You give us life, you give us love. That is why we want you give to our heart. Come and join the show, cause we need you to grow. So pull up a chair and share with us all of the things you know. Here we go again. Critically drinking, stay thirsty, my friend. Burning in love and hoping never. If it does, oh, we'll come back again.
And like the song say, hey, don't, I will come find you. Easy way. Or the hard way.
Amazing.
I got my own platform. If I got something to say, I hit my live button, ho.
Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. Welcome to Critically Drinking. I'm your host, R'Shaun, but as you see, we have another illustrious guest here. We got Mr. HeSaid of the HeSaid Media Group. How you doing, my guy?
What up, bro? What's good, man? Thanks for having me. How you doing today?
Man, doing wonderful, man. Always a pleasure to see you, but definitely glad to have you. Let me just greet the chat real quick. We got Nia. Good to see you. Dawn Frank is after work. I'm glad you could pull up. You like the intro. Princess K on the intro music, man. Definitely all love there.
Yeah,
Mrs. HeSaid. Hello. Hope you're continuing to recover.
Thank you.
Lady Novoa, hello. This is my stream, but shared out on the Harris Tribe and Mr. HeSaid's channel.
It is.
We got Yellow Pill in the building. Hello. Man, let's go. Anybody else I missed? We got Bree. Yeah.
Hey,
Nova
Bree.
Brain. Fuck yes, you started late. I love you. Man, love you back, man. Love you back. Yeah, it's the real Yellow Pill here this time. Now listen, that Crackle, it really might be Streamyard. It's back again, and I know how uncomfortable headsets are, so if you want to swap back to the regular mic, I would say go ahead while I break down, because it's coming back in. So I know I'd rather you be comfortable. If it's going to crackle, let's let you be comfortable.
Okay.
I'm sure it's Streamyard.
Okay.
I'm sure it's Streamyard. All right, while he is getting that set up, let me just let y'all know what is going to happen today. I have been wanting to have Mr. HeSaid on for a long time, but I never asked him because I didn't know exactly what I wanted to talk about. So because I have him here, I'm going to talk about everything. So I have 21 different questions, but I've organized it in a particular way, into kind of themes. I've organized it into 4 kind of topic points, and I'll go through it, and maybe you'll see it early. Some of y'all will see it early, some of y'all will see it late. So the first thing we're going to do is go through the category called Select a Stranger. Today's stranger is Mr. HeSaid, but after today, he won't be a stranger. We'll get to know him a little bit better. Then we're going to create a sense of confidence. All right, we're going to build up the confidence with some nice, easy stuff. Then we're going to appeal to emotion. We're going to try to get to, we're going to try to get to some touch points. Then the last thing, we're going to make that closing move. You got to close the game out. So, it's like the title says, it's the hustle. If you can't see it, you're likely to get it or you're likely to be it. So hopefully, I don't know if anybody caught that, what just happened, but if you didn't catch it down, I'll make sure I point it out at the end. But, man, it looks like we are back. Let me see. All right, just
Like check 1 2 1 2. How was that?
Yeah, it's still coming through, but you're audible. You're audible, so that's the most important thing. And I'm pretty sure. I promise you. I'm sure it's Streamyard because we've been battling this. So I don't want you doing a lot of troubleshooting because it's probably my system, my service. My service is just, it is what it is. So forgive me because I got that Streamyard because it's simple, but I might need something a little bit more comprehensive because Streamyard be letting me down. We got brother Von Eric in the building. Hello, good to see you, sir. Greg Bryant. Hey, gang, we talking about dicks again? Not today, sir. Not today. Candid hand up in here. What up, what up? So you're manipulating us. Nice. You know what I'm saying? I'm always manipulative and condescending. Wow.
Okay.
Okay. You know what I'm saying? We starting early. So let's get the chat.
I see they being real nice. Okay.
Yeah, you know how Bree be. She nicey. She one of those nicey.
Yeah.
One of those nicey ladies.
That's Pank.
I remember one of the
today.
Pank. Yeah.
There you go.
The Pank.
Shout
out to Pank who stepped in for Yella under the pseudonym of Red. So Pank under the name of Red subbing in for Yella. There's a lot of wild colors today, but today's banner and color that we are flying is that purple and red. Because we are here with the Cerebro. We are here with the Cerebro, Mr. HeSaid. One of my, I don't even know what to call it. But somebody in the space, in the YouTube space and sector of people that do live streams that I really admire and look up to as far as somebody with, I'll say, pristine thoughts with great reasoning and logic base, who has a premise that he is easy. It's easy to follow. It calls people to be better. He crowd control. He can rock the mic. I'm like all around. I enjoy the platform and I enjoy hearing you as a person and your thoughts. I enjoy your dynamic with the wife. So salute to you, salute to the wife, because I really enjoy y'all's content.
Yeah, man. Thank you, man. That's kind words, man. And I just try to be me, man. And I'm not on front. None of what you see is act. None of what you see is manufactured or artificial. I've been feeling, I've been thinking, I've been consciously moving the way I move, since I had children, since I got a family, since I became a teammate. Because, things are expected, things are required when people look to you. So I've always had that mindset, and it's transcended from, my team life to my family life. And it's been easy to apply because I just think about it like that.
Man, appreciate it, man. And it's dope. It comes out the growth and the learning that you've gone through as the evolution of an adult. It all comes through in the way you carry yourself. So, man, much love to you. We got the second Bryant brother. Greg Bryant has already been greeted, but we got Von Bryant in the building. Now, you and brother Clarence over there talking about the penis strike. That was hilarious. I want to let y'all know.
That was
Red
crazy.
lipstick vibes. Yeah, that was crazy. Red lipstick vibes in the building. Hello, sister. Good to see you so much. So, I do want to get into it. Now, I know Bree said she thinks the headphones sounded better, but I think with the crackle, there's no way to, I don't want to fight the audio all day. I don't want to go back and forth. Let's go into it. Let's get into it. Because the first part of the situation today, the first section is the selected strangers. You've been called out. You've been identified. I got the picture with, as best as I could approximate you through the AI, the picture of the man with the beard and the hat and the glasses, like with the pool stick. I got him on the thumbnail. I used to shoot pool. You one of the people, if I wanted to go shoot pool, you one of the people I'd shoot pool with. Like, oh man, it's a cool hang vibe, cool chill vibe, love it. So when I thought about you, I thought like the pool hall. I actually at one point wanted to do a show with like maybe you, B9, Rico, and Yella. People I can think through stuff with, but also got a chill vibe. So I was thinking about like running the table. It's all just running the table, man. You select the point because all of us are good. If we see a point and we're gonna take it from point to point to point to point until we hit that 8 ball in the corner pocket or the side pocket. Like we all got that same that thing.
True.
Once we lock in, we going all the way with it. So I love that dynamic that all of us. Oh, stop it, Mr. HeSaid already in here acting up.
You're not cuteness.
Yeah, it was many of our first date things to do. Man, I loved shooting pool. I wasn't the best at it. I probably would get whooped, Mr. HeSaid. You probably would take me out. But the first thing to do was select a stranger. And on your stream, so in selecting, I've watched some of your content now. You had a stream about sapiosexuals. I'd like to ask you to name a non-sexual turn-on. What is a non-sexual turn-on?
A non-sexual turn-on would be word association.
Word
I say a word,
association.
you tell me the first thing that comes to your head, and we go back and forth like tennis. That could get a little, get a little nice.
Yeah, I like that. You really do like the thinking. You like the thinking people. You like the thinkers. I like it.
I mean, it's only because, you know, when people talk, they tell you how they feel, how they think, what they think, experiences they've been through. And the more they talk, the more you get to add up pieces. That's why, you know, one of my comments in your chat was, do people realize that the record button is on? Like we're tallying this stuff up. Like the cash register is just filling up with information. And if you know, are doing a 180, or if you're waffling, or if you're just completely different than something in the past, or, you know, it shows. And the more you talk, the more you try to make people believe or convince someone else, you know, you only tell on yourself. So, you know, I think the more we go back and forth, the more we get a little bit of a converse and conversation. I think that's how we learn about each other. And that verbal intercourse is just as good as sexual intercourse if you're doing it with the right person.
I love it. I love it. Now listen, we got Lady Navoa, and we got Red Lipstick Vibes, and we got Bree. So if you don't mind for me, I know I said I was gonna leave it alone, but if you wouldn't mind, go ahead and plug that back in for me. We'll try it one more again.
I got you.
While we're doing that, let me see. Greg Bryan says he is, and we got another person hit me up. So we definitely want to see why you fix that. Greg Bryan says, I am really confused by this question. You know there are such things as non-sexual turn-ons, Greg. Come on, Greg. I know somebody just said something. You heard a woman say something. You were like, You looked at her a little differently. All right. So we are going to get back into that as soon as he does return. But yeah, getting that. I do apologize, folks, because my Streamyard, I've been noticing it with on Yella's channel as well. My channel the other day when I tried to share something. I'm not sure what's going on with Streamyard, but they have been getting, the more features they add, the worse the service has become. So, we'll see. Am I on the right platform now? I mean,
all right.
That depends on you.
Mic check 1 2. Can you hear me?
All right, you coming through. The crackle's going for the moment. So we will see. Rick Brian, I thought you were going to at least behave on this stream. Nope, he started with dicks, and he started with dicks. There's no way. It's only one way after that. He's never behaving. OG Patrice is in the building. Hello.
Yo, G. This is when our de-escalation skills may come in. If we can kind of walk it back from the dicks, then maybe.
Right.
But sometimes once it goes south, it just goes completely south.
Sometimes it stays there, man. Greg starts in the ditch and stays in the ditch. But sorry, brother Brian. At some point though, this conversation does have some other stuff. Yeah, I'm not sure what the crackle is, but I'm sure it's the service because too many people have had this issue in my Streamyard. So it's got to be something with this Streamyard. And so again, I don't know what it is because different mics, different browsers, it's all come through. So everybody, if you could bear with the audio issues, I do believe it's a Streamyard service that I've been experiencing it. So yeah, so I do apologize, but bear with us. Let me see the next question. Let me know. Yeah, I can hear you.
Do you hear a crackle?
Not at the moment.
Okay, that's what I thought with the computer.
Cool. All right, well, that'll work. Well, then my second question for you, good sir. My second question for you, good sir, is the DRD4 stream you did. What is a place that you yourself cannot help but wander to? What is a place you can't help but wander to?
Oh, wander through scenarios, wander through multiverses, kind of like Doctor Strange. Like I'm always like trying to figure this shit out for me, for my family, for other men, because I didn't have an instruction book. So, you know, the DRD4, that's that wandering gene that, you know, while we can't stay in one place for a long period of time, and, you know, some people might not be happy in situations and just need to throw in the towel and leave a situation because of happiness. When that's very subjective, it's very fleeting. And, you know, DRD4 may be a reason why, you know, there's never a place of comfortability for you, or you always want to worry about what's going on in the place that you're not. If you're home, you're worrying about what's going on outside. If you're outside, you're worrying about what's going on at home. So, you know, it's this wandering aspect to us that we have to consciously hone in on. So for me, you know, I can travel through scenarios, through multiverses, through hypotheticals, you know, in my mind, because I really don't want to get this life thing wrong. So, you know, if I can fuck it up in my head and get it right in real life, I'd rather do that.
Man, for sure. Definitely. When you did that stream on the DRD4 gene, I was like, that is crazy. It makes me wonder because Greg Bryan in the chat, he often talks about there's a lot less to psychology and sociology, and a lot more to the chemical compositions that we inhabit. There's a lot more to the hormones. There's a lot more to the serotonins and the this and the that than is driving us than the psychology and all that stuff. So definitely appreciate that, man. Drill, hello. Yes, it's not the mics. It's not the mics. It's something to do with Streamyard. So everybody, please just bear with us on that audio issue, because there's nothing brother HeSaid can do, because he tried 3 different mics. So definitely, it's not on his side. I'm pretty sure it's the Streamyard. Can't tell you why, but I believe it is. On the next question, brother HeSaid, plausible deniability. Now, what is something that you are usually unwilling to confirm or deny, but you'll be willing to tell us here today? Something that you are usually unwilling to confirm or deny. You don't take a position on it, but on this one today, for us, for critically drinking, you'll be like, you know what? I got you.
I'm typically not a person that doesn't confirm nor deny. I take a stand again, whether I'm wrong or right, or we need to converse to get me to a different place. But if I had to answer, I would say superficial stuff. You know, do I look good in this? Or, you know, does my butt look bad in this? Then, you know, I'll give a politically correct answer, something thought out so that it doesn't, you know, shake the boat, but at the same time get a point across to provoke thought. So,
okay, I
would say very superficial things. You know, how do I look? You know, what colors best, so on and so forth. But very minute, very superficial stuff.
I got you. I've watched your content. You've never been one to shy away from a controversial stance. So I can't see you not being too unwilling to confirm or deny. But again, that was one of the topics that I thought was really interesting that you've covered, the plausible deniability, because a lot of us do try to hide behind a way out. We try to go just far enough so that we can still escape from that opinion that we have. So I appreciate that about
when
you.
I was a younger man, now it was a little different. Maybe a friend's whereabouts, or like I said, I was a team player, so it's a lot of girlfriends that come around looking for fellas, and you know, I don't have nothing to say. You know, I'm not gonna say where he is. I'm not gonna say I've seen him. I'm not gonna say not. And again, I come from Brooklyn, Bed-Stuy, so plausible deniability is kind of baked into that cake to a level, because some things you better be plausibly denying, or you know, the streets will not plausibly deny you.
Ooh, got M Mills in the building. Yeah, you definitely do not want to get that revocation by the streets. You don't want to get denied by the streets. But man, one more in this conversation, because again, everybody, please go check out Mr HeSaid. Also check out Harris Tribe Media Group and Mr SheSaid. But we got Mr HeSaid here. Cerebro Saturday. I really enjoy watching that. I typically have to, because it's Saturday, have to catch the replay. But Great thought-provoking conversations. And the last one from this section, everybody, is the thin line. Now, woo! This one was spawned by a conversation we were having over on Yella's channel. And there's a thin line between support and enabling. There's a thin line between support and enabling. What is one of the thin lines in your life that you feel you struggle walking? You might cross over a little bit into the negative trend of it. Control, being in control versus controlling.
I would say constructive criticism. I think it's a thin line between constructive criticism and a hard honest truth. And just because something might be true doesn't necessarily, need to be put in certain ways. So I walk the thin line between constructive criticism and, that harsh truth because sometimes I don't filter it. Sometimes it comes out without the filter. And again, I'll always be willing to backtrack. I'll always be willing to go back and visit. But, it comes out how it comes out. And if you can take the kudos and the compliments, I think, the constructive criticism that might mask itself as harsh rhetoric sometimes, I think it should be taken as well. Because when the constructive criticism comes out as, really hard pats on the back, I don't think you differentiate between those.
Yeah, that's for sure. Real quick, OG Patrice, yes, we have tried 3 different mics, so it is not a microphone or hardware issue. It is something to do with Streamyard, so it is a software issue. So we will not be able to fix that tonight. So please bear with us if you can and listen through the static, because again, there's nothing we can do about that at this time. But thank you for being in the building, OG Patrice. Now going on to the second section of this, Mr. HeSaid, because again, I'm a fan. I'm a fan first. Everybody y'all see me around. Anybody's ever been on my panel, the people that y'all see me in the chat of, I'm a fan. People think of me as a content creator. I don't think of myself that way. I'm a fan. I like people's perspectives. I like people's personalities. Mr. HeSaid is one of the first ones. I was like, okay, there's a guy in this space I can definitely respect and listen to and look up to as far as the way they think and move. So I can definitely respect that. So that's why I wanted to call out some of the key things I've heard from his content that stuck with me. All of those are things that I'd never heard before or had never really conceptualized the same way he had. So again, definitely a big, I say a thought leader in this space as far as I'm concerned. But then the second stage, guys. The second stage in the process, we have to create a sense of confidence. So we're about to pull it back and have a little bit of fun, a little bit lighter. It's not so personal, but you'll see what I mean. You'll see what I mean. You are a harder cheerleader than a critic. Okay.
Damn.
That's what's up.
Okay. I'll take that. I'll take that.
Okay.
How do I sound?
Now the
Sound messed up still?
it's still in and out. It's still in and out.
Yes.
And I don't think I put this in the right space. Oh shoot! What did I do with it? Yeah, it's not the mic. I promise you. I promise you it's not the mic because I had the issue and then Yella's been having the issue. So it cannot be you. It's got to be the Streamyard. Must be the Streamyard. Now, as far as this section, the first question is, and it's going to sound stupid on the surface, y'all. It's going to sound so stupid. Don't look at me stupid because I put the definition in here so y'all can see it for yourselves. Mr. HeSaid,
yes, sir.
Is a horse a chair? Is a horse a chair? It sounds stupid. But
I'm gonna go with no.
You're gonna go with no, but listen, the definition of a chair is a separate seat for one person, typically with a back and 4 legs. And a horse, you know, they put the saddle on it. It's got a seat for one person, and it has a back because you're sitting on the back, and it has 4 legs. Is a horse a chair? And you said no. What about y'all in the chat? What do y'all think?
And I was stick with no because for me the operative word is seat. I don't. The seat is going to be stationary. A horse is going to move.
Well,
So
different
my
definition
concept,
didn't say stationary.
True. This is true.
I
This
saw
is
a
true.
hard cheerleader once. Thank God they didn't have $50. Jesus Christ. Thank you for the compliment. Yeah. Y'all got a lot of respect and admiration for y'all, for sure, for sure. All right, so listen, y'all in the chat. I know Mr. She said no. All right, brother, he said no. Nobody else answered that question, but we're gonna move on to the next one. We are going to move on to the next one. And this was a weird one the other day because I woke up one day and I realized I had memory of certain sensations. So what I want to ask you, what senses work in your dreams? When you wake up and you have your dreams, what
Mhm.
senses? Because I remember seeing stuff. I remember
Okay.
hearing stuff. Sometimes I remember feeling stuff. But do you ever smell stuff or do you ever taste stuff? What senses work in your dreams?
I wouldn't be able to answer this because I don't dream.
Really? See,
Really.
I'm glad I asked.
Um,
Of course.
I pretty much kind of like think until I fall asleep, and I kind of get up in the morning. But I really don't dream. I don't have these vivid, you know,
Hmm.
cinematic things happening in my sleep. I go to sleep, I wake up in the morning, and I keep going.
Wow.
It's been a really long time, like a child, like, and again, really, really traumatic things maybe block that, maybe stop that, and just the seriousness that I approach life with. Like I tell you, this constant consciousness, this always having to strategize, is something that a switch I cut on that I just cannot cut off now. So I'm thinking about the bills, I'm thinking about the day-to-days, I'm thinking about next week, I'm thinking about the vacation. Like, it's so many things that's going through my head. Like, it's funny, I was talking with my mother-in-law, we watching Power, and she's like, son, how do they do this? Like, they gotta always be moving and this and that. And I'm like, Mom, we all do it. We do it in different arenas. You're thinking about your household, I'm thinking about mine. We always, the garbage this, and maybe the dispenser got to get fixed, and the toilet upstairs, and the car got to go in 2 weeks down the road. Like, we're always thinking and moving just like a drug lord. We just thinking about the kitchen and the kids and school and dentist appointments, but they thinking about guns and the connect and how I'm gonna get across town. It's just, we all have these capacities to work as masterminds. We are all bosses. We are all the CEO. We are all the capo. We are all. It's just like you guys were saying. How much of the onus are you going to put on yourself? When are you going to turn the mirror inward and say, I'm capable of greatness? Let me do greatness. It's no reason for me to say, R'Shaun, I'm not doing greatness because of you, or the game is rigged, or it's cold outside, or yeah, you could say all of that, but ultimately you are the one responsible. So, that's where I hang my hat, and that's my answer. I'm sticking to it.
Man, salute. I would have never thought to ask that. Except for one time, I think it was me, Bree, and maybe Yella. And we did a stream and found out that not everybody, even in their head, hears their own voice. So sometimes when we're talking to ourselves, like, man, like, what do I need to do today? I'll hear my voice. Some people don't hear their voice when they're talking to themselves. Some people see pictures. Like, they see what they need to do as opposed to hearing themselves talk about what they need to do. I was like, I thought everybody thought the same way. Now I just found out people don't even dream the same way. I knew people, like, some people didn't dream in color, because I know your wife says she dreams in color. Some people dream in black and white. Some people told me they can fly in their dreams. I've never once flown. Never once. I've fallen. Never flown. So, I mean, it's interesting to hear, like, I go to sleep and I wake up. I think I go to sleep, I wake up. So I'm glad I asked that, because I would have never thought. I know one other person who said they didn't dream, but I had no idea. Had no idea. It's like 40% of people have no inner monologue. I had no clue until recent. I promise you, the last year has been enlightening. I hear Morgan Freeman as my voice. I can't stand you. Yo, it's time to wake up. All of it. I do. Very vivid. I dreamt all of you dreamt all of your children. Now that's amazing right there. That's what's up.
She's unique. She's unique.
Yeah. Now this is a very very trivial question, but we're keeping it light. It's the confidence building section. When you're home, is it barefoot, socks, slippers, or slides? Everybody has one way that they stick to. I'm slides.
Slides, bro.
Yeah, same. Yeah, okay. What about y'all in the chat? What y'all rock when y'all home? What y'all rock when y'all home? Weird to say the least. Man, hey sis. Yeah, but I know I'm a slides guy too. I know some people that swear by, everybody swears by one way and they kind of stick to it. It's in the same vein. When you're eating, you know, whatever you munching on, whatever you getting down, because I see the wife bring you some tasty every now and then when you on stream. She always making sure your nourishment's on point. Do you eat with sauce packets, sauce cups? Do you keep a bottle close by? Or do you sauce it the one time and you live with the results?
Nah, we're not saucing one time and living with the results. I'm too. Usually a cup maybe, or have the bottle near, but it depends on the sauce. If it's ketchup,
Okay.
I'm probably need a cup so I could dip and get a nice, even spread. If it's ranch, then maybe I can, pour it on the side and just dip the fries in there. So I'm gonna go with a cup on the side, or at least have the bottle. So if I need more, I can get more. But the one pour, that's you chancing.
Man, you super chanceable. I know some people just live and die. Okay, this is the way it came out. I'm done. I'm good. So I was just curious, man. Danny Anthony, I don't think I saluted you. Salute to Danny Anthony. And I forgot to hit down. Forgive me. This was from last stream. I didn't get him last stream. I slipped up. But I got to get him now.
The Prince of Pan-Africanism is back, showing love to all my donors and supporters. We've been at it for 2 hours and we still got donations to go through.
I'll take that.
See, I get love. Y'all focus on the hate, I focus on the love.
Is that a lot?
That's a lot.
I got another donation. Donations.
Wow, that's a lot.
Gifts. More gifts.
Wow, thanks.
Shout out to Danny Anthony again for the Cash App. I was towards the end of the stream and I forgot to mention it, so forgive me, Danny. Don't ever want to forget you for the big love and support that you show the channel.
Word up, us too. Shout out to Donique. He supports us heavy, man.
Yeah, for sure. One of the biggest supporters, man. Him and Nova Rain be making sure I can't ever quit. I'm like, okay, listen. Y'all show too much love for me to ever think about quit.
Absolutely.
I be thinking about it, but I gotta fight through it. Yeah, it is. It really does push you. Like, man, if there's people like that out here that want to see you doing what you're doing, you got to keep doing it.
True.
Got to keep doing it. Now, this is from another content creator, brother. He said, this is from that bro Clarence, and I want to hear your take on this because you weren't on the panel, and I didn't get to hear your take on it. But from brother Clarence,
You talking about them busters?
man, I'm talking about them busters. They busters. I told you, Mr. HeSaid, they busters. They busters. Should men go on a penis strike to get women to get some act right? I wasn't even trying to make that rhyme a little bit. That was an accident. But should men go on a penis strike?
No. That's. I mean, I get it. Theoretically, I definitely get the premise. But I don't think that would be where girls gonna get their peen from. They gotta get peen from something. I mean, that's just. I think it's insensitive, a little unrealistic, but a great idea. I don't think anybody should strike. I think we should be more responsible. We should be more conscious. We should be more thoughtful. We should be more sincere, empathetic, understanding. A lot of things that we can do within ourselves, besides a strike, in my opinion, of course.
Yeah. I do think that the strike is probably, like the ladies, I heard ladies talk about this earlier today. I heard ladies talk about it yesterday too. They can buy stuff to replace the penis. Now, what could be taken away? What could be taken away is some of the money, some of the tricking we be doing, some of that attention, some of them likes and eyeballs and hey babies and you look good. So there's a lot of things you can take away, but I think the penis is probably seventh or eighth on the list of things to probably take away.
I mean, all of those things you described come with discipline, right?
Yeah.
So if we just had discipline classes or coping mechanisms or skills, or maybe think about baseball, I don't know. But again, I'm one of the guys that I don't like that narrative that men are simple. But when they do things, on a simple level, you can't but ascribe to it and say, well, maybe you guys are. But I think discipline and thinking a little more complex, a little more level would produce much better results.
Oh yeah, I definitely agree. If you want to go on strike for plumbing and air conditioning. Watch it get real. That's another thing. Those little services, taking out the trash, changing light bulbs, killing spiders, getting rid of mouse traps, all those little weird things. Changing the tire. Oh.
You gotta
Ooh.
take the nuts off in a certain way. You can't even just take them all off like clockwise. No,
Yeah.
can't.
Yeah. So all right, now listen. We have some nice, simple, easy. Everybody can answer them questions. Everybody can take a stand on them questions. Everybody knows what kind of house shoes they wear, how they like this. Everybody can. That's the confidence. We're about to move into the next section, y'all. It's time to appeal to the emotion.
Okay.
And in this section, people might have a feeling. People might feel a way. So because you might feel a way, I want my dearly departed brother to kind of set the tone.
Tonight's topic is going to be one that is going to be contentious. So I'm going to say it right off the bat. Moderators, if you start to see people get out of hand, getting ignorant, getting ugly, we don't do that. We don't do that. This subject is going to be sensitive, but it needs to be discussed. Why does this subject need to be discussed? So I think it's only fair that I actually give you guys my opinion on this subject. And what is that subject matter? Glad you asked. Let's get into it.
Critically drinking, stay thirsty, my friend.
Yeah, we about to quench that thirst. We about to tap into something right here because I got some questions and they're going to gradually build up to something that somebody's going to get offended over. First one, maybe. But by the fifth one, I know somebody's not going to like the fact that I asked this question. So, first off, though, I gotta take these flowers while they being offered. Mr. HeSaid and R'Shaun on the same panel, Superman in the same movie. That's what I'm talking about. I appreciate the love. I appreciate it. Start that one. Might have to come back to that one every 5 minutes, man. Just feel good. Superman.
You mad at that?
So listen. And boys weren't introduced early to sex and didn't focus so much on pussy while so young, their minds would have more discipline to focus on their purpose and money. I mean, that's true. And then Greg Bryan, of course. I thought vagina was our purpose.
Easier than done. Easier said than done.
It is. It's easy to say, but it's really hard to do.
Absolutely.
Now, I know this one is near.
I'm sorry.
Please.
I mean, I was just wanting to give just maybe a suggestion to be able to work on discipline. It's practice. Like I tell you, R'Shaun, I'm a sports person, so everything that I got good at is because of practice. Even saying no to vagina, like no, like I don't like you, I don't want you for whatever reason. But again, it was something that got easier the more I started to do it. Now I'm just looking for reasons to say no. And again, we can operate in the same playing field that they do. You say one thing wrong, I'm pulling my pants back up too. Like, but we act like we can't do that. And again, that's that simple narrative we ascribe to. Oh, I was there, I had to get something, I had to show, I had to leave with something. Like all of that simple ass thinking is what makes women say y'all are easy. But all of us are not like that. And that's the premise and the flag that I wave. Like when I came to the table, I came a certain way. And if I have to hold myself to a certain accord, if I have to move in a certain way, I'm going to hold you to the same esteem. And I shouldn't be shamed or bashed because I have standards. I have boundaries. I know how to exercise them. So some men are going to speak like that. Some men are not going to be sensitive to your feelings. I don't want to sleep with you. I got the woman I want to sleep with already. every man is not going to talk to you like he wants to sleep with you. And that's the thing, like I said, the constructive criticism, the kudos, when it's the pats on the back and the kudos, they take those. But when it's something that they don't want to hear, it's like, oh, you hate your mother and you hate women. No, I don't. I'm just pointing out something that I feel. And if everybody got the right, and it depends, and everybody's different, how come my different is under fire?
Mm-hmm. That's a good point. We talked about that a little bit earlier, me, Bree, and Candid Ann, and they were like, do y'all feel like as a man, your stance is under attack? Yeah. Like sometimes what used to be the majority opinion can become the opinion that gets shouted down because it's in a, I don't even know what to call it. I want to say like a state of rebellion or a state of like a correction. I'll say that might be better language. There's a state of correction against the dominance of the cishet man, the straight man. There's a state of correction to try to bring balance to other people who deserve to feel heard, that they say I deserve to be seen. So I'll call it that just to, so it's not too triggering. But I'll say because of that state of correction, that correction comes at the expense of men's voices. And we have to be able to admit that too. It may not be the intent, but that's the impact.
Absolutely. You're absolutely right. Absolutely.
To clarify, there's a majority of women I would not sleep with, but I know immediately. Greg, you okay. I love it. I love how the different the Bryant brothers are. I love Devon Bryant and Greg Bryant. Both black and white photos. One's always talking about sex or depravity. The other one's talking about God or Jesus. Up until this past week, where he started talking about penis, I was so shocked to hear Brother Von Bryant talk so much about penis.
Yeah.
That was a trip. I never thought I'd see the day. Never thought I'd see the day.
It was the fruit of the day and topic of discussion. So it was a fun stream to watch, though. It was really fun. Shout out to Let's Talk to Better Black Life.
So listen, I know your wife said she was doing some adult coloring, but if I hear her yell from the other room and answer to this, I would not be mad.
Okay.
Should fast food and sugar be a controlled substance?
Hell yeah.
Just like all the Schedule 1 drugs and...
Absolutely. It probably should be placed above all else because it goes so camouflaged. It's in everything. Everything breaks down into sugar. So, it's sugar. And if we can deliberately and consciously use it the way we want to use it and not have it use us, kind of like our cell phones, kind of like, pretty much everything America uses. And that's, again, another flag that these things are not just subject to us. This is American culture. This is the American way, this lazy, sexy, all of this. This is America. This is just, this is the cards we were dealt. We just playing the hands that we got. So I would definitely put sugar as a controlled substance. I probably would put it above everything else.
Because I know two things that we accept that seem to be the most damaging to our society is sugar and alcohol, but we demonize all the other drugs like weed or all kinds of stuff. But as much damage as alcohol causes the communities, alcoholism causes all of the different communities, and as much damage as sugar. We talk about like 80, especially in the black, 80% obesity in the black. I'm not demonizing anybody. I know what I got on me. But 80% overweight and 80% of that number obese, like that's a high saturation rate. Not even trying to be funny with the saturation word, but that's a lot. That's a lot, and it's hitting our children.
True indeed.
It's hitting everybody. So it's a problem. Here's where I get offended.
Not only a problem, it's a choice. It's a choice, just like drug dealing, just like BBLs. And again, if we can talk to our kids and say, your father made bad decisions because he wanted to be in a gang or he wanted to sell drugs, and that's why he's not with us anymore. Or your mom wanted to get a BBL or she wanted to augment her body, and that's why she's not here no more. Your cousin couldn't put donuts down. Your cousin couldn't stop putting double size everything and cheese on everything. It was a choice that he made, and that's why he's not here with us no more. Like, if we're going to be fair, we have to be fair all around the table. And that's the insensitivity that I noticed, that when it's the black man You get exactly the medicine that you need. Pick up your pants, raise your kids, go to school, stop going to jail, get a job, work harder. Nobody cares. But when it's anybody else, it's insensitivity. Talk like that to a kid. Oh, you're a monster. Don't be talking like that to no kid. Talk like that to a woman. Oh, you ain't no real man. You talking like that to a woman. Talk like that to an obese person. Oh my goodness, you fat shaming. Talk like that to an anorexic person. Oh my goodness, you're so insensitive. Like, everyone gets consideration, but where's our consideration? And when we stand up and say it, we get attacked for it. It's preposterous, it's insensitive. And again, if we're gonna go around the board and be fair with everybody, let's go around the board and be fair with everybody.
Yeah, I'm with it. I know my flaws and I can accept them. Once I learned a little bit more about like some of the stuff that goes on in our food, and I'm still learning. I'm still learning so much. I was just learning about cloned bananas through some process called cutting last night, and some of the plastics they put in rice. Over on I Digress, where I met Greg at. Damn straight, it's America Day this weekend. So there's so much going on with our food, including radiation, like irradiated food. Like,
Yes,
there's so
indeed.
much going on that it just goes on under our nose because there's too much to know about. There's too much going on, and
Last
I
week,
get why.
through factory made meat. They're going to be making meat
Yeah.
inside of factories. So
Lab
again,
grown.
you know, those 99-cent chicken sandwiches, and that's why I say it's about choice, because I grew up in New York City. We have something called Gray's Papaya. They sell 50-cent franks. And this is when I was in high school. This is like 30 years ago. And it was me. I was the person that was like, yo, man, that frank cost 50 cents. How much do you think they paid for it? What do you think is in it? And now we go deeper than that. You wearing polo, you wearing Guess, you wearing a fitted hat. Like, you care more about the things you put on your body than you put in your body.
In your body.
That shit
Facts.
don't rock with me. Because if you got to wear the finest clothes, you got to drive the finest cars. What about inside of you? That's the outside of you. But if we was to pull you inside out, what we gonna see, fam?
Mm-hmm.
And that's that well-roundedness. Like, I get we all gonna do what we gonna do. But if you choose to be sophisticated in some areas, you cannot blame me for expecting you to be sophisticated in more areas.
Yeah. No, I totally agree. Yes, Vaughn Bryant, they do put. It's not all rice. There's ways to check, but there are some plastics in rice. And I already knew there was sawdust in a lot of shredded cheeses. I already knew there was like some kind of sawdust material. But there's so much to worry about, man. While we're on the subject, abolish seatbelt laws. If I was driving and I go through the windshield, that's on me.
Damn.
They already make meat in factories and laboratories. Now, too, because Greg Bryan did have a question. So, do you think you shouldn't have the right to put yourself at risk? And I mean, I'll go ahead and go first, but I would say there are certain risks. There are certain risks you should be able to take on. But as a government that has to bear the brunt and the responsibility of taking care of the people who take certain risks, I would want to mitigate some of those risks. If somebody has to foot the bill for your risks, then they should also be able to have a say in how many risks you get to take. Like, I know we talk about that, and we're probably going to talk about this in relationships. Protection and correction come together. So you can't ask anybody to correct your bad circumstances, but not protect you from some of your bad choices. But what about you, brother? He said.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Put the question back up. Let me read it one more time.
Let me roll back up. My fault. Let me
okay.
see. Boom.
So, do you think you should have the right to put yourself at risk? No, you shouldn't. No. You already have free will. Already. So, the right to do something you know is going to harm you or has the potential to harm you? No. Because now we have to deal with death care, with health care, not preventative care, not before care. That's like, should we put on a free him t-shirt instead of saying, don't do that shit so you don't go to jail, stupid? So, nah, man. That's where we at now. That free to be me, you know, I could do what I want. That's that right there. Nah, you bugging.
Yeah, and I know. I'm speaking from experience. Now, I was not taught moderation. I was definitely not taught moderation. Not even just in food, in a lot of things. We did not moderate our speech. We did not moderate our behavior. Our response was we were actually taught to be disproportional. Well, if you hit me, I'm gonna try to beat you, and if you beat me, I'm gonna try to kill you. Like everything we taught was to the extreme. But again, I can admit that I'm probably part of a subculture, but still, I know that's what I was indoctrinated with. I know other people were too. Our government gets paid off those risks. That's why the FDA lies a lot about our food. Risk yourself, yes. When your risk impacts or harms others, no. Facts, man, Drill. Facts. Now this one, now listen. I already played the disclaimer, so if you didn't see the disclaimer, that's too bad. Now this was a question brother HeSaid himself asked. If being gay is okay, why do women use gay terms and insinuations to attack a man's character and sexuality? And I gotta admit, this is something I've been curious about for a while. A lot of people, including gay people, and I've watched gay people do this too. When they want to insult a straight man, they'll insult his sexuality or effeminateness. Oh, you soft, you weak. Oh, you acting like a woman. You a big. There's a lot of you. I'm like, wow. How are you going to talk about all these gay slurs and then you use those same gay slurs on a straight man to? So if there's nothing wrong with what you're doing, why are you using that on a straight man to shame him? I thought that was interesting. But what are your thoughts on this?
It's exactly that. Again, like I said, the insensitivity and the way that men are disregarded when it comes to being considered, when it comes to, having a voice. And it just seems to me, as a man of 48 years old, about to be 49 in a couple of weeks, that it's always been. And now that men are trying to change the narrative, trying to speak up, trying to voice their vulnerabilities and sensitivities, just like classic American behavior, it gets thrown right in our face. And again, a man that can sit up here, I can have Nikki here, I can say I like women, and someone will still find a way to say, oh my goodness, look how he's sitting, or whatever the case may be. He's sitting in the back all quiet, he's kind of feminine, and it's just those attacks. But it's not different from the way America operates. There's not one man that you could say did something that someone would say, nah, give me some proof on that. Nah, Michael Jackson wouldn't do that. Could you show me something at least? No, it's always considered. We have to fight our way out of holes. That's why I don't get in elevators with anybody, because it's something I got to disprove now. If you even choose to say something, and again, it's what they've put into existence, because like you guys were talking today, a good man and a bad man can't exist at the same time. So if we talk about a good man that take care of his family, you cannot then turn around in the conversation and say, well, if he beats me all the time, I'm not staying. Or if he cheats on me, like, how? Wait a minute, when did he become this bad person? And that's the differentiation that they continue to do, which makes us believe that we bad. So you know what? Let me just stay away from everybody with my beard and my scar and my demeanor and my cadence and my tone. Let me just stay away, stay in my little quiet grandpa chair. And again, this is the narrative that we have to play into. That's a good man. Grandpa was a good man. He had his chair and he sat down and he was quiet and he was ran over and simp of the world. And he was the good man. And that's what they want. They want us all to just give up. And I'm not doing that. I'm going to continue, to speak my narrative. I'm going to continue to wave my flag. And it's because of the insensitivity, because of the consideration I see everybody else get, but not my brothers. And, I'm a married man, been married to my wife for a long time, but I wouldn't advise a man to get married. Again, but they don't hear when I say that. They don't hear when we say it's not for everybody. Again, that's that selective hearing, the confirmational bias, all of the things that we try to touch on and the things that we talk about because it's real things, but it just get brushed aside, or a reason to disqualify, or a reason to criticize, or, how it typically goes. So it's really an uphill battle. And I fight it because, again, I see my brothers. I see what they go through. I live in a house with nothing but women. I've been around women my entire life, and I'm not naive to the way they operate. And I love them wholeheartedly, but I'm not a dummy. So, we call it what it is over here. So some people really think we're insensitive, but we're going to continue to fight the good fight. And, you know, the people who like it will continue. The people who don't, hopefully we can sway you and we keep pushing forward. But I think it's a real insensitivity to men, particularly Black men. And I just want to change the narrative by having these conversations, but sometimes it gets impeded.
Yeah, I definitely get that. I mean, everything you were saying, especially the way people have a feeling about you and your wife's platforms. The way you voice your opinions, the way you voice your perspective. I've heard some of them and what they had to say. I definitely do like the fact that both of y'all been like, you know what, we ain't here to win approval. We're not here to win a popularity contest. This isn't high school. We have our perspectives. We stand on that truth, the way we see it, and we're going to say it. Having a wife is my biggest.
That's right. I heard that before.
my biggest problem is gay is the laziest insult. That's the best you can do. Yeah, I don't take offense to stuff like that, but it makes me think. Because here's the thing. If you think that's the thing, and I saw you and Nova Rain both put the same thing in. That's the thing that they think is going to offend you. But if you are so pro everybody, if you believe in the humanity of everybody, if you believe in the rights and the affirmation and validation of the LGBT community, but then you stoop to naming them as the thing that's going to insult me, and you're willing to utilize them as a weapon, you're willing to use these people as a prop to harm somebody's emotional state. You don't care about them either, no matter what you say, no matter what you preach. If they're nothing more than a tool that you hit somebody over the head with because they're a man and you think it might be, you don't really respect them as human beings. So that's the born-in paradox of using that kind of language. I love women, but I'm not a dummy. Facts. Exactly. It's not what people call you, but it's what you answer to. Facts. That's what I had to learn, Brother Von Bryant. I had to learn that, and I had to learn that for my own mental stability. Because I would have lost my mind trying to chase down every chicken that wants to call you something outside of your name to get your attention. You can't chase them on down.
I mean, and that speaks to the bigger narrative of pretty much all of the things going on, especially the most popular thing going on this week. Like, if you're gonna stick your chest out and fight all of these battles, you're gonna constantly be fighting. Every man that's in the DM, every woman that's hollering at your man, every person in the restaurant that's before your order, like, you're gonna fight everybody. Man. How much fighting can you do? And why I say that is because it just makes the world a big jail. Everybody got this machismo, this bravado, they chest poked out, like, who's the toughest? Like, the world just became a jail. And now it's all about the bigger fish and who's the toughest, but that's only on a certain day. And that's so subjective and temperamental that it's volatile. And again, if people don't move with some sort of consciousness, and, you know, you could say that these words are clichéic, but emotional intelligence, situational awareness, like, these things are necessary. And for these lying people that are so sophisticated, so degreed up, so savvy, with, you know, the rap music, just everybody's so savvy. They take trips, they go abroad, I have degrees, but we don't have situational awareness. We don't have emotional intelligence. We don't know how to de-escalate a conversation. I haven't heard, man, maybe we got off on the wrong foot. Can we start again? Yep. Like, certain things just come with sophistication, come with maturity. And I've never heard these terms used in these juvenile spaces. And then again, they want to attack you. Oh, you think you smart. No, I don't. I'm just not stupid. I'm never going to ascribe to this narrative. And you're not going to make me feel bad for being different, because everybody's different, so to speak. And again, this is why it gets so insensitive, R'Shaun, because these are the words that they use. Oh, it depends. Everybody's different. Until we really get different. Now it's, oh, you think you better than me. Oh, you think you smarter than me. Oh, what's your address? For what? You want to kiss me? I like you. Why do I want to roll around on the ground with you, grabbing and touching and swinging and hitting? Do you want to kiss me? Just tell me you want to kiss me, because I'll tell you I don't want to kiss you back. And again, this is why the air just gets so unique around homosexuality, around all of these different conversations, because a lot of people secretly like each other. And it's really not in their nature, not in their culture, not in their community to just come out and tell somebody they like somebody. Like you all was talking about earlier, friendships. We don't even know the value of friendship in this country. So how the hell you expect to walk through life with somebody? You don't even know how to be somebody's friend. You need an anime movie to teach you how to be a friend.
Hey.
These people are crazy. And like I said, you and Bree, y'all guys, y'all are ingenious because the angle that y'all come from, it all makes sense. Because all you got to do is step outside yourself for a second. Like Bree said, my mom seen what was around us. She chose to give us outlets outside so that we know it's something bigger than these boxes we in, these blocks, these like, and that sparks the thirst, that sparks the curiosity. But these parents that my wife be saying shame to, they don't spark no curiosity. They don't spark no ingenuity. They don't know where their kids are at 10 o'clock. They in Baltimore wilding out. And that's the approach we come from. That's the flag that we wave, and we will continue to wave it. Again, if you look at my Facebook page 10, 15, 20 years back, I've been saying the same thing. So miss me with all of that. I love my wife. I love my mama. I love my grandma and my auntie and my 4 daughters. And again, my 6 godchildren, my foster children, the girl I let live in my house for 2 years. She still ain't come back, say thank you. Mother ain't come back, say thank you. But if I say that about women, I'm mean. So, you know, like I said, man, I've been living for almost 50 years. And in living, I've been watching and seeing and learning. And I'm not going to be quiet about the stuff that I learned. The last thing I'm going to land this plane on is I've been with Nikki for over 20 years. Ask her how many brothers that are my brothers have become her brothers. Call her, tell her about what's going on. Let her know about the situations going on with their baby mamas and all that. Ask her how many of her girls call me. I'm close with. Like, girls don't operate like that. I've been next to this woman for 20 years. I've seen women be opportunists. She's been in women corner for many years. The one time she's not there for them, she's the worst person in the world. So again, the proof's in the pudding. I've been sitting here and I've been watching. And all I do is call it like I see it. If you don't like it, I'm so sorry, but it is what it is.
Boy, I think Ricky Williams said it best. I gotta pull that quote, man. Fire, 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 flame, fire.
Peace to the God.
Like, let him talk. Let him cook is what Tristan would say. Let him cook, man, Mr. HeSaid. That's why I say I'm willing to admit it. I'm a fan of Mr. HeSaid, not just as a professional, what he does in his craft, but as the person that he demonstrates himself to be. So I'm willing to admit that stuff. I don't have to hide behind any fake. I'm a man. I don't have to. I enjoy his personality. I enjoy his style. I enjoy him and his wife's camaraderie and love for each other. We have to learn to be able to celebrate each other in a way that doesn't make us feel soft, weak, gay, whatever it is that make us feel ashamed to just say, man, I really just enjoy watching you or listening to you or seeing what you do, seeing you shine. We got to be able to get to that point, because I promise you, just hearing that man go off like that, man, I think we all a fan of the exact same energy. And I'm just not continuing to give over 20 years. Big love right there, y'all, for sure.
Appreciate you.
Let me see. Next question. This is near and dear to my heart, my artery clogged heart. You know, so many women are talking about body positivity these days. Why do people that say it never date obese men? Why didn't we see Lizzo chasing obese men? Why didn't we see Gabby chasing obese men? Why is it that the body positivity squad is never after the big guys? They never love the fluffies. They always after Chris, Captain America, Chris Evans. What's up with that?
There you go.
What's up with that?
I mean, it's just typical American behavior. Again, you know, they may say one thing at dinner parties, because I hear women say they want fluff or a little belly, or maybe that's a new thing or a modern thing. I don't know. But it's always been like that. The dad bod. And again, just a man in a Speedo is just something comical when you even think of it in your head. You put a man in a Speedo, you know, it's just the visual doesn't pop up as this, you know, goddess or god on the cover of a book with his nipple out. It's just a different narrative for us as men. And like they say, take it like a man, you know, pull up your bootstraps, or, you know, put your big boy draw, or whatever cliche they have for men to just take it as it is. That's what it is. So, you know, that's why I love Biggie so much. That's why I love Heavy D so much. That's why, because they showed us that you don't have to be attractive. You don't have to be slim, but you do have to be confident. You can walk up to the girl and say, you know, you like me, but you just don't know it yet.
Yeah.
She go home and she be like, you know what? He do be smelling kind of good. Like sometimes you gotta spark that thought. Just like we try to spark thought with conversation. And I don't know if people are just not confident in themselves, if they just don't think they can do it. But you can. You absolutely can.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, I love the big guys that got confidence, the big guys that say, yeah, watch this hat I put on, watch this pocket square. Like when I start talking to you, come over here and talk to me though. Once you grin, I'm in, games begin. Like that he taught us that, you know, it's not all about looks. He was not the most attractive guy in the world. He was not, but he was charismatic. He was very loquacious. He was a picture painter. He was, like Ricky said, be you. If that's you, be you. But if it ain't you, you got to work on your game. You got to practice. But you can't blame the ref. You can't blame the net. You can't blame the court. You can't blame what you can't. You can go to a court where you are the best player, though. But you might have to practice to be the best player right here. So, you know, y'all big guys keep doing what y'all do, man, because the skinny guys, it's the inverse now. The skinny guys are getting passed up. They say we too small.
What?
So, you know.
What?
Too.
Oh man, yeah, that's buggy. But that's how it goes. Everything kind of goes cyclically in these little weird trends. It's kind of weird how that happens, but for the most part, people like what they like. But it's about to start. This one is a little bit more conceptual, so I'm gonna need you to work with me on this one. I'm gonna need you to work with me on this one. So
let's get it.
This is a paradox. I need you to help me with this paradox. Men are never in therapy as a general rule. Again, a generalization, a general rule. But they seem to be content with themselves. As we don't try to doll ourselves up too much. We don't try to change ourselves too much. True. On the opposite end, women are seemingly always seeking therapy and therapeutics and are never content with who they are and themselves. Why is that?
I mean, besides human nature, because again, we as guys, we can go through the same thing. We just kind of mask it a little bit better. We may even be able to ignore it and push it down. And again, that's that individual persistence, drive, grit, determination. All of these things come into play because sometimes you gotta downplay your weaknesses and upplay your strengths until you build up your weaknesses, you know, and that's a perfect example of it. That we don't give ourselves an opportunity to shine. We kind of cut ourselves off, you know, at the legs, so to speak. Besides the guys that's getting implants to be taller, they're not doing that. But men we know that the work has already been done with us, R'Shaun. Again, whether you're a polished, and that's why there's classes. That's why there's words that describe the type of man you are. You could be a gentleman, you could be a ladies' man, you could be a soldier, you could be a doer, you could be a thinker, you could be a gangster, you could be a thug, you could be a goon. Like all of these different words describe the type of man that you are. Who are you? Like Ricky said, be yourself, but you have to know who the F you are in order to get that done. You got to know what your strengths are, what your weaknesses are, what you're willing to work on, what you don't need to work on. All of this is internal reflection. So, you know, us as men having a driver's license, learning to respect women, walking on the inside of the street and knowing how to fix a tire and knowing how to pick a dinner spot and like all of these different tangibles that come with being a man, we have to hammer them down. That's why we play chess. That's why so many things that give us the necessary practice that we need to be men. And we never shy away from them. That's why, you know, we don't have to sit down on somebody's couch, because the correction can come from self, because who knows you better than self? I don't know if I wholeheartedly agree with Yella, but I don't know about therapy and in the results, because again, that's very subjective. That's very internal, and the proof is in the pudding. So the way you act, you could have just been determined to act different. You could have been determined and conscious to do a 180 from how you've been acting. If you were stealing, if you consciously try not to steal, come up with coping mechanisms on how not to steal, find out ways you're going to deviate your attention from stealing. This again leads back to y'all conversation today. Just saying you're not going to cheat no more, yeah, that ain't telling me nothing. But what are you going to do? All right, when I get those DMs, I'm going to do this. When a girl number pop up, I'm going to show it to you. Or like show me what you doing. But again, that's the work that Bree was talking about. People don't never want to do the work themselves. They always want to throw it back on the other person. And it's way easier to do that. But like I said earlier, you're never going to coexist and walk through life with another person unless you examine yourself. Examine what you're willing to give, what you're willing to take, what you're willing to be, what you're willing to not, what you're willing to risk, what you're willing to lose. All of these things have to be contemplated like a game of chess. So, you know, I think we are given the tools. I think we have all of the instruction, and it's on us to become gentlemen, to become polished, finished versions of what we started out being, because none of us wanted to be deadbeats. None of us wanted to be insensitive fathers. None of us wanted to be dingbat husbands, but it turned out like that. So we got to want to stop it. We got to want to break the cycle. I tell you guys all the time, I appreciate y'all. I didn't have a dad. I come from bad style, a lot of bad examples, a lot of what not to do, but I had to take it as that. Look, I'm not going to find what to do around here, man. You might as well cut on the TV, look for Dwayne Wayne or somebody. Like, it ain't going to be around here. So here's what you do. Make a list of what not to do. Don't be like him. Don't beat your woman. Don't cheat on your woman. Don't drink. Don't take the finances out the house. Don't do that. Don't burn the house down. Don't shoot. No, like, that was easy. And then the rest, I cut on the TV and I know what I want for myself. I know what I want for my family. So it starts with me. Even the shirts that I wear, very intentional, kid and play. It ain't got to be a man and a woman. Two people that know how to get along because they know they got to get along. And that's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying.
Man, I mean, I do wonder how much of therapy is because men won't sit there and listen to them. Now, I'm going to tell y'all, this is an anecdote because I haven't proven this or read this. I just heard somebody say it. I'm repeating something I heard somebody say. But I'm telling you I'm regurgitating up front, so don't take me as factual. One of the fathers of psychology, Sigmund Freud, I want to say it was. It might have been Carl Jung, one of the two of them. They said he actually, because he was Jewish, could not get the type of clientele he was looking for. He had to take whoever came to him. So it's typically people who could not afford to pay, and women because at the time they were second-class citizens. He tried to give them therapy, but they told him, could you just shut up and listen? So a lot of the insights that we got from psychology was from somebody who could not get access to a wide swath of people. And even when he did try to help them, it was like, could you just shut up and listen? So a lot of talk therapy is derived from women coming to this guy and them just wanting him to just sit there and listen to them work through their feelings with a secondary source. So I also think somebody in the chat said, I mean, I do wonder how much of therapy is because men won't sit there and listen to them. It's also not our nature to want to sit there and for long form, an hour or so, just want to sit there and work through our feelings with one other person. I don't think that's a lot of our methods. Now, we've taken to it with these panels. We've taken to working through our feelings on these panels. We don't notice what we're doing. But I do think talk therapy is something that a lot of guys would have to reorient themselves to accept. Because we think of it a certain way.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
All change comes from within. I've had to rid myself of therapists like that. Yeah, it's a thing. It's a thing. It's something we have to think through it. Instead of accepting it as like gospel, that is the solution to everything. But the second half to that question, which I did not include because it was too long for the chat, men, as a general rule, are accepting of themselves. I know somebody will push back that. Then why are men killing themselves at such a rapid pace? We're content with ourselves a lot, but we are not content we have not been able to find contentment in relationships outside of ourselves. Friends and women. There's a friend deficit right now, and there's men having an inability to obtain sex in relationships right now. That's on the climb. So men are less happy and satisfied because we can't find contentment in external relationships. On the opposite end, women have been able to find the contentment in external relationships. They get validated all the time in society, through friends, through kids, through spouses. Somebody's always telling them that they're worthy of something, even if it's their other sister girls. Girl, you're beautiful. You're a 10. You're that. So you get the social validation that men do not get, but you don't get the internal validation of your own self-worth. So that's where I think that disparity comes from. And I know that question couldn't address it because it was too long for that thing. But I know the critic would say, then why are men killing themselves so well? Because we don't get the social validation that women get. And that's a big thing. That's a big thing.
I mean, we get cookies, and that's the thing. Not only do we not get validation on the inverse, we absolutely get downplayed for the contribution that we do make. Like I said, the two men can't exist at the same time. If I'm going to work, even if it's for 40 hours, I know you got to work 60 hours to be considered, a real man. But even if I'm going for 40 hours and I'm bringing those finances home and I'm making the best of what I do, it's like you get a cookie because you're doing what you're supposed to do. No, I'm not. Actually, I'm doing my job. I'm performing to my responsibility, and that deserves appreciation. I'm not saying I want you to build Mount Rushmore for me. But again, the opposite side of that spectrum looks like tell your mama how good the food was. Tell your mama how pretty she looked. Tell your mama how nice the house looked. Tell your mama. But mamas are not sitting down and saying, y'all, come here, sit down, look at this. This is what daddy makes. This is what our household needs to run. Like, look at this. My wife gave the kids Monopoly money and gave them a budget. You got to pay rent with this. You got to pay electricity with this, that. And they like, how the hell do y'all do it? This is not enough to do it. Like, yeah, we know. Welcome to our world. This is where, your individual savvy has to come in. You have to make this work, but there is no giving up. Giving up is killing yourself. You can't do that. I want to give up. No, can't do that. Can I not eat? I don't have to eat. No, you got to eat. You got to eat. You were expecting to eat when you lived with us. We expect you to continue to eat when you live on your own. And again, these thinking things out to Z, to triple Z. Like I said earlier, Dr. Strange going through millions of universes. A lot of people don't do that. I'm not going to say men. I'm not going to say women. I'm going to say people. Because humans definitely do it. But people, they don't think out all the way through about all the different scenarios, about how it affects everybody. This is what Bree was talking about. The kids get lost. This is what we play on the opening hour show every week, but they say we don't have no solutions. The solar eclipse, the kids get lost. They the stars. They get lost in the back somewhere. Do something good for somebody other than yourself. This is what we say every week before we leave. Every week. So, we have to be intentional. Like, we can't say it enough. The consciousness, the intentional behavior is what's going to set you apart. It's going to separate the men from the boys. Boys are very unintentional, very unpurposeful. They create a lot of chaos and run away. It's what they were taught. Cops and robbers, ding dong ditch, create a problem, run away from it. And they grow up and become the same men that do the same thing. They create problems, babies, dysfunction, violence, and run away. Because that's what they know. It's the American way. It's what America taught them. We have to be intentional, fellas. We have to want to do better for ourselves, for our families, for our children, for our women, for our communities. You guys know the lyrics to this song, but it's on you to say, you know what? I'm going to sing it. I'm going to wave the flag. Because that's what the Panthers did. They knew their life was over. That's how I feel. I know my life was over when I had them kids. It was done, R'Shaun. I'm done. All I could do is be a father. Maybe one day they'll grow up and go out the house and I'll be able to walk around this motherfucker naked, but my life's done. And a lot of people don't want to accept that. They don't want to say, I need to pour into my children until I can pour back into myself. So like you guys were talking, the selfishness, the you know, it's there. So, you know, we all got to do better. And I'm the first to tell men what they got to do. But I'm not letting no women or no simps tell me I need to move along. If I'm sitting in neutral on women, that's where I'm sitting. And ain't no woman going to say, well, you've been talking about women for too long. And simps like, yo, we need to stop talking about women. Yeah, y'all do that over there. I move my car when I want to move my car.
Fact.
And when I put it in drive, believe me, when I get to the men, I'm going to get to their ass because they need work.
Yeah.
But again, you know, it starts with us. You have to be intentional and you got to practice what you want to get better at. If you want to get better at being nice, just practice it. You want to get better at being mean, just practice it. You'll get better.
Man, I wish I had some of them sound effects, but man, I promise you that's one of the things I had to learn. What is up, Quantum in the building? Anybody that came in that I forgot to acknowledge, man, please forgive me because I did. I know I'm sure I skipped by somebody, but thank you all for being here. Man, brother, HeSaid is dropping truth bombs all over. Yes. Powerful, for sure. What you said, though, that last thing is something I had to learn. And I'm going to tell y'all, I mean, just from personal experience, what I had to learn, because everybody tries to tell you, what is up, Anthony Jenkins? First time I've seen you here. Hello, appreciate you for coming through. Something I had to learn the hard way was that everything is practice. A lot of us talk about stuff like we need to get disciplined. I promise you, even if your life is trash, you're very disciplined. But a lot of us, like myself, have been disciplined at making the wrong choices. We have practiced making the wrong choices, the lazy choice, the easy choice, the cowards, the easy way out choice. We've practiced making that choice so many times that it's second nature to us. So we don't even have to think about it anymore. It just happens instinctively. Somebody presents a conundrum or a decision in front of us, and boom, we take the easy way, the lazy way, the political way. We take the way out that we've practiced and rehearsed maybe since childhood. I had to accept that. It's not that we're not disciplined. We have made a habit of doing the wrong thing. Even if a poor eating habit, it's a poor eating habit. It's not that you don't have an eating habit at all. You just consistently shove the wrong things in your mouth. That's me. I'm speaking from my own experience. We have to accept that that's the way we do all of our lives. All of our lives are run like that. If you have a terribly regulated life, if you're always choosing the wrong men, the wrong women, spending when you should be saving, that's a choice that you've made a habit out of. And that's something I had to reorient my mind around. Helped me to start saving. When I realized that I was making a choice to spend all the time, it was a habit, and I was falling victim to my habits. I was like, Jesus, I got to change that up. A man speaks with intention. Always does what he says he would do.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And then that's the purposefulness that we need to stand up to the world with. The same purpose that we stand up to ourselves with. You got to be able to draw the line with yourself. Man, I'm not doing this no more. Like, it came a time where I was not eating swine anymore. I think I was 15, 14. Like, I'm not doing this no more. And yeah, it was hard, and the spare rib tips and the pork fried rice and everybody in the hood with the cheap meals. But I'm not doing it anymore. And it was a conscious decision. Again, you know, it all starts with us, man. We can make all the excuses in the world, but when we want to do something, we do it. Because when we want to take that trip, we take it. When we want that bag, we get it.
Yep.
So, you know, when we want to turn the corner, when we want to listen to each other, right now is, I guess, you know, a necessary evil that we have to put up with. But when we want to listen to each other, when we want to get along with each other, because, you know, I've heard a lot of people say this in the space. I believe Ricky, most notably, that we act like we out here looking for 8 or 9 million women. We only looking for one person. You really having this hard of a trouble looking for finding one person? Now, like you said earlier, R'Shaun, it's a lot of things that make you see the whole dating schematic different. If you willing to accept what I'm willing to, then it's a whole different thing. I got to rethink my whole game plan. But, you know, for the other people that's just looking for one person, why is it so hard to find one person?
Yeah.
Like, hammer yourself down, be purposeful in your conversation, be conscious in your movements, and live with the results that you get. But, you know, to make it so hard, I think we make it a lot harder than it actually is. But again, maybe it's a necessary thing that we got to do to get to the promised land.
Yeah. I know I have that difference of opinion with a lot of people, because a lot of people have that thing, we make it harder than it has to be. I think we've made so many things, like so many negative traits, a habit, that it has to be hard because we have to unlearn the way we've been doing it. So I don't think many people can find people because we've practiced the bad habit of choosing off of our impulses, the same way we choose food. We choose off of convenience. We choose off of marketing. So the same way we choose food, the same way we choose cars, the same way we choose people now. We don't choose because we vibe with that person and we think they're of good character. We don't kick the tires on cars anymore. Oh, that's the car that look fly. I think I look good in that car. That's a lot of times the metric. Somebody says you look good in that car, that's one of the biggest compliments you can get. Not, man, I think that car will last you 20 years. Nobody thinks like that. Nobody's heard anything like that. Nobody even talks about that relate. Y'all look good together. Nobody's talking about, man, I can see y'all being together for the rest of your lives. Nobody says that. It's not even a common talking point. So even the way our minds are oriented is now towards short-term satisfaction over long-term implications. We don't even have that kind of mindset anymore. So I think it's so hard because we have to unlearn short-term thinking, which the culture breeds. So we have to then reorient to long-term thinking, which we're not practiced in. They're unfamiliar to it. So it's actually scary. Well, I can put in all this investment up front and I might lose it all. That's what everybody in the red pill space is. I might do all this work. I might make myself better. I might invest all this money. I get married. I can lose everything. She can take half. And then child support too. And alimony. And then you ain't even met a woman yet. Why are you so scared? You're petrified of a thing that you haven't even experienced.
For real.
What's happening? So I think that's why it's so hard, is because we now have to overcome our fear. And we have to overcome the poor habits that have been instilled in us by the culture. And that's what makes it hard. Not that the thing itself, relating should be easy, because if you can relate to yourself, you can relate to another person. But our culture has made it that most of us don't even know how to relate to ourselves first. Which is going to go into the next question, but go ahead now. You can jump in on that while I catch up on the chat.
That was perfect. The sensitivity, man, we lack it. Remorse, we lack it. Just looking at this recent situation, I definitely don't agree with how the brother behaved in this restaurant in Chicago, and I don't feel good about the overall outcome for anybody. But the lack of remorse I see from people. We just are a bunch of psychopaths and sociopaths walking around, and we learn, again, all of this stuff is the American way. We lived in the upstate New York for 8 years, R'Shaun, like a predominantly white neighborhood. Everything you see happening was happening there. The dysfunction, the cantankerousness, the baby mama drama, the fighting in the street, all of it happened. Not glorified, not nationalized. But, these things don't alleviate themselves from different cultures, different platforms. And, what I've seen is the lack of remorse, the lack of sensitivity to us as Americans. It comes from TV. We watch so many shows where they give you the asshole immediately because he's gonna die and you're not gonna feel sorry not one bit. And we've starting to operate like this in real life. I see real life men pass away, women pass away, and the insensitivity around it. No waiting, no cap, no filter, no nothing on the way they speak, how insensitive it is. People, family finding out about their deaths from the way we behave on social media. It's just, an insensitivity that I see only in horror movies at one point. And it was very noticeable and very understandable. But to see people operate like shit, glad he dead, wish he could have died twice. Holy shit. And then turn around and say, I'm God-fearing. I'm looking for somebody God-fearing. And it's sickening. So, to sit back and watch it all, it becomes the circus. But at the same time, it's like, goodness gracious. See, he wants to get into semantics. Lack of remorse for whom? And you see, that's people. This is us as people. Remorse for human life. Remorse for humanity. There's so many discussions that could be had about just the way we behave. Again, lack of de-escalation, lack of social awareness, lack of all of these things. If we could use some of it, if we can exercise some of it, nothing worse than the Facebook obituary. It's just,
Facebook
It's so
obituary.
insensitive.
Wow.
It's so heartbreaking. And again, from the smartest people, from the most intellectual, and I'm a PhD, and I'm so I take trips, and wow, everybody lives in negated communities. Everybody but y'all so insensitive. But when certain people say things, that's triggering. You want to come for them, and oh, come on, y'all. If we're gonna be fair, we got to be fair with everybody, and it's so insensitive when it's not, and so apparent to some people.
Yeah, I can take the hit on that because I know for a fact I've been mocking the people in that submarine, and I've been making fun of that dude in Chicago. I ain't even gonna lie. I know it. I know I've been conditioned to be insensitive. I've absorbed so much death, publicized death, that I can justify it in my mind. So I know it's if my grandmother was sitting there with me, my grandmother, the person who was the most moral, based person in my life, I wouldn't say and do some of the things I've said about these people because you don't speak ill of the dead is what she would have said. Don't speak ill of the dead. But we've gotten to a place it's everything's commercialized, everything's postable, everything's quotable, even some of the most macabre things. I know that there's a such thing as gallows humor, but I think you're right. We have definitely probably taken it too far. I don't know that I'm going to change, but I recognize your point. Is what I'm trying to
Oh
say. I
no,
recognize your
not.
point, and I see it
You
in
are,
myself.
you are all good. You are all good. Because I mean, how can we not be like this? We watch Law and Order SVU to put us to sleep, man. Like most of the movies we watch, the good part don't start till a murder happened, till a R word happened, till some sort of it's crazy. When I met my wife, she watches Law and Order to put her to sleep. I'm like, this what you watch to go to sleep? Like,
Ooh,
what?
man.
That's crazy, young lady. Nah, we not gonna. Nah, come on, yo. We got to do something a little more sensitive than that. But again, these are the men that don't exist in the world. Like we all are just, we keep their head in the toilet until we want to have sex. We eat meat and we just growl and walk around the house telling everybody what to do all the time. Nah, everybody's not like that. Everybody's not like that.
Man.
Everybody's not just completely insensitive, completely moronic, completely lack and devoid of emotion and empathy and sympathy. Nah, we not all like that. And that's again where I get upset is that he can't be your husband and be this monster at the same time. Because how'd you marry this monster? But if I ask you, I'm insensitive. It's not, it's not cool. We just need a little more information to piece it all together and make it make sense. And if we were a little more conscious in our behavior and our question and in the way we move, I think we would get better results, man. But if we're going to continue to watch Law and Order and, 911 and SpongeBob and things that diminish our capacity to think and put down people that read, put down people that use big words, like if we're going to continue to operate in this fashion, we're going to continue to get the same results. But I grew up in Bed-Stuy. My mother told me somebody hit you, hit them back. Everybody in my neighborhood don't play that shit. So for me to grow up 30 years later and everybody be like, you should have walked away. You should have walked away. You should have walked away. Where did I learn that at? Where did I learn how to walk away from anything? Again, everybody got all the bravado, all the machismo. Listen to the rap lyrics. Everybody's the toughest. Everybody's the smoothest. Everybody's the richest. And we start to test this. Like I said, the world just becomes a big jail. You got your chest poked out. I got mine too. We gonna fight to see who's tougher. Like unbelievable. This is how we gonna operate. And again, this is how I thought men operated. This is how men operated in Bed-Stuy. I said this many times in platforms, R'Shaun. My whole neighborhood was that situation. Say something else, I'm gonna slap the shit out you. That was my whole neighborhood. And it was only a certain type of person that would say, wait, who the fuck you think you talking to?
Yep,
or
that was the test.
would just walk away, or they would walk away going, yeah, all right, whatever, go ahead with that bullshit.
Yep.
But again, that's what we called alpha and sigma and delta and omega and all of that shit in my neighborhood. The lines were drawn every day, and you knew who you were. So you pick your lane, you stay in it. But again, when we got men, we got women, we got everybody, kids, everybody operating the same, it's because it is. It depends. Everybody's an individual. Everybody's different. See how the lines get blurred? It's no more parameters. It's no more guidelines. It's no more men that can say, yo, Stop talking to that lady like that. And everybody's puzzled. Why all the men ain't saying nothing? This is the world y'all created. Everybody's different. It's subjective. So he could talk to her however he want. She could talk to him however he want. Everybody need to mind their business, because the minute you say something, you're going to get your head torn off by whoever, woman, man. Nobody has a place anymore. So again, it's just all confusion. And this is why we get the results that we get, because of the confusion. In Bed-Stuy, the streets is the streets. And when that street light came on, that was one indication. That was around 7 or 8 o'clock, R'Shaun. And then when 10 o'clock came, there was a commercial that came on. It's 10 o'clock. Do you know where your kids are? That was the second indication. That's the second one. Then at around midnight, you just know everything out in the street now is gully, gully, gully. And I don't want to be insensitive to anybody, because what homeboy did was cowardice and some real punk shit.
Agreed.
But at the same time, what time is dinner in your house, R'Shaun? Dinner in my house is 6, 7.
Yeah.
Where we going at 11 to eat? In the south side of Chicago at 11 o'clock at night. And just to put the icing on my cake before I land my plane, Black women are the first ones to say black men are mean. They are aggressive. They are monsters. They are Mr. from the color purple. If you know all of this bad stuff about me, leave me alone. You already know that I'm a monster. You depict me as a monster, and you want to continue to engage with a monster. It's preposterous. I think we all need to be a little more sensitive to our families, to our lives, to ourselves. If we can cook dinner at home at 6 and the kids can eat by 8 and be in bed by 9 and mommy and daddy can talk till 11, like, that's why it's the way it is. And people don't want to say it, but I will. I understand that we are upset. We are jaded. We have been through experiences that led us to where we are. But we cannot be insensitive to the way the world works. Facts. And there's sometimes that it's bad things that happen. And trust me, my heart goes out to everybody. But I know the world we live in. Like Bree said, she consciously got out. I couldn't stand Bed-Stuy, man. I love Brooklyn. But when I was young, R'Shaun, I couldn't stand it. I couldn't stand the dysfunction. I couldn't stand, like I said, the machismo, the bravado. Everybody got a gun. Being a gangster is what's cool. Smoking weed, shooting hoops, rapping, fucking girls. That was being a man.
Yep.
And I couldn't ascribe. Something inside of me just said, it's not right. You got to get the fuck out of here. And my college friends, people who come back to my old neighborhood like, yo, you know, you always used to say you was getting the fuck out of this place.
Yeah.
Like all the time. And I'm like, damn. But again, that conscious decision, I'll go back. I'll do what I need to do. I'll visit. I'll contribute. But I can't be here, because it's just not conducive to growth, in my opinion. So we got to do what we need to do for us to grow. Mr. Butler told me to do what I got to do to survive. He was talking to Kane, but I took it. Do what you got to do to survive. What are you going to do with your life? You going to stay around here till you get killed? Like, that's the inspiration that I took from TV. I didn't need an example. We don't have no examples. You guys don't show us no. I didn't need that. It was so much out here telling me to raise my kids, be different than my father. And that's the pride that I take, that I get in my car, I go to work, I take my wife out, I go on trips, I take care of my kids. My father didn't have the courage to do that. That's what keeps me going. He didn't do it. He dropped the ball. He let go of his responsibilities, and I will never be that. So that is always going to fuel my engine, R'Shaun, to be a better person, to tell my brothers I love them, to tell them that I admire them, to not be shy about the points that I make, and unapologetic about the flag that I wave. And again, just being me. And that's why, you know, maybe that's what you see, and maybe that's what you like, but I can't be something different. I got to be me. If you can gravitate toward it, you can. If you can't, so be it. But, you know, it's me, man.
Man, I got nothing but respect for all of that. Man, if y'all can't see why I rock with Mr. HeSaid and I follow his content, man, something wrong with y'all. But again, that's my feeling. That's my feeling, man. If you don't like what I like, what to say, acquired taste. If you don't like it, you need to acquire some taste. You need to acquire some taste, man. Because Mr. HeSaid, he's that guy for me, man. But that last question I asked about the therapy was leading into this next question before we get to the last question of this section, because this one might make somebody feel away. And I'm sorry, not sorry.
Yeah, let's go.
Mr. He said, is it possible to both love who and how you are, but never be seen without makeup, wigs, filters, or body augmentation? Isn't that a conundrum? Isn't that a mathematical impossibility?
Nah, you could do that. You
You
could
can do
do
it?
that. Like I said, man, Biggie, man, I am not an attractive man, at least in my opinion. I don't know what anybody else think, but let me put on a shirt. Let me talk to you for a minute. Let me buy you a drink. Sit down. Sit down. Don't go nowhere so fast. Like it's that approach. Sometimes we gotta overcome the barriers. We gotta overcome the things that other people may see as a negative or a faux pas or an idiosyncrasy, and work through it, work on it. Show that person that you're willing to learn, that you're willing to work. So, nah, man, I'm almost 50 years old, man. I ain't got no Beijing. I ain't had no augmentation. People been calling me skinny and getting shamed my entire life. Bird chest is what they use for men. From day one, like body shaming, please, long arms, scar on my face, big nose, big lips. Like, come on, y'all gotta be kidding. Like, men get body shamed from birth. His big head, nappy head, this little black, so and so and so and so. So, you know, it's about your approach. It's about your demeanor. And what we see when we look in the mirror is just what other people tell us they like about us, what they don't. But we don't know what we looking at. We don't see our true reflection because we too busy listening to everybody else. Oh, your eyes are nice. I like your chinky eyes. And oh, your eyebrows. And oh, that scar on your face. Where you get it from? That's what we start to see. We start to zero in on that. So, you know, until we learn ourselves, until we are able to look into the mirror and see our reflection, but that only comes from being a good person, being an honorable human,
Man.
giving instead of taking. Like that's where your reflection come from. And that's when you're gonna like what you see when you're looking at you, when you're walking past the mirror. Like that's the shit that y'all don't get. That shit don't come from aesthetics. That shit don't come from something you could put on and take off. That shit come from inside. You're a beautiful person from the inside out. You know how many ugly people is beautiful and vice versa? So many pretty people is ugly. Congratulations on your face. But your insides are ugly. So congratulations.
You played yourself. Facts. I'm with that, man. I have a hard time accepting the whole self-esteem, all the love stuff. I have a hard time accepting that from people who can't accept the way they look, the way God made them. Or, I mean, slightly embellished. We all need to play ourselves up a little bit for clean ourselves up. Hygiene, accessorize, cool. But if you have to look like a completely different person every moment, every day, I'm always going to wonder about that self-esteem, all that validation. I'm always going to think twice every time I hear you say, "I love myself," and that. That's going to always make me think something. Same way if I hear a dude always talking about he's alpha, I'm gonna be like, okay, you need that validation way too much, and you need to put on a facade. You need to rent these cars and these houses, and you need too much to feel like yourself.
Absolutely. I wouldn't disagree with that at all.
I'm an ugly dude, but women are willing to sleep with me, so being ugly doesn't affect me. Congratulations, face. And Duri and Leah, thank you for coming here. I didn't greet you when you came here. My bad. When you come in the door, I want to greet you. Now, this is the last one. Now, this is going to start with a clip. Now, anybody with sensitive eyes, anybody that has issues with like hypersexuality, Mr. HeSaid often plays clips. We're going to react to a clip, and there are images of hypersexuality and a lot of sexual language in this clip. If you need to tune out, this is your opportunity.
Put your headphones on, nurse.
Yeah, put your headphones on. Put your headphones on. It's anybody that knows we're about to talk about a little Sukihana. A little Sukihana about to come up. This last question of this section is about to be about a little bit of Sukihana.
What's the obstacle?
You know who that is?
What's the obstacle?
You know who that is? It's a problem. It's a problem. What's the obstacle? Shh. She said, trigger warning. Maybe. Kings and Dreams, man, appreciate you. Wanted to put some shine on my brother, Mr. HeSaid, man, because I think he's a dope content creator, man. And I love listening to his content. So I'm like, man, come on over to my channel and give us some more of that. Give us some of that. Give us some of that, man. Share some of that. Open the liquor cabinet and give Inya. Ooh, Inya, what's up, Inya? Covered those sensitive eyes. Yeah, buddy. I'm gonna pause it at certain points, but I'm gonna bring it in, and it's gonna start off crazy. It's gonna start off crazy, so pay attention from the get-go, yo. Yeah, please.
Before you clip, I got a question. What are you drinking tonight, sir? Critically drinking.
It's a little bit of a little Tennessee whiskey. You know, you're smooth. Tennessee whiskey. Yes, sir.
Sweet strawberry wine.
Sing it.
Yours,
sir, what you got?
Warm as a glass of brandy. I stay drunk with your love all the time. Yes. God damn it. Shit.
Yes, sir. What's in that bottle?
That song.
What's in that bottle?
This is tequila.
Okay.
This is Don Julio.
Oh, that's some smooth stuff right there. That's some smooth stuff right there. I like it. Yeah. Ty Libra in the building. Hello. So we about to play this video. And I'm going to pause it here and there. This is actually clipped from a reaction by a group called Playback. A couple of brothers that like to react to stuff. So you'll see these two young black men in here every now and then. But I'm going to pause it. And I wanted more commentary to come from me and Mr. HeSaid than from those two brothers. So I let them speak every now and then. But mostly I've clipped a lot of the stuff that they clipped from Sukihana. Because it's some stuff. A lot of the verbiage, because it was too even much for their channel, is bleeped out. So you won't hear everything that she says. If black folk know one country song, it's going to be Tennessee whiskey.
That is true.
Yes.
That is true.
Yes. That's the one. That's that one. That's that one. So, all right, let's get started.
Child, I'm about to say.
Stay here, Mom.
All right, Sukihana's a rapper, and for those who know, she's a rapper, and the way that she raps very sexual. I don't know another word for it.
I get that vibe. Yeah,
but like way more than what you probably think.
No, I believe her. I just started twerk on a kid.
Yeah, it actually gets worse than that.
I just saw her twerk on a kid.
Yeah.
I just saw her twerk on a kid. And y'all just saw her twerk on a minor, on a child, not a teenager. That was a child. I immediately dislike her. Exactly. I'm going to let her speak for herself for a moment. A lot of it's going to be bleeped out. A lot of it is going to be bleeped out.
I f with Diddy, and one thing about me, I feel like I'm Young Miami. I love when the piss on me. That was a real.
Is her titty out?
Yeah, that's the type of performances that she does when she's rapping. And...
Is she a porn star?
No.
Gotcha.
Liberated, if you will.
She's so liberated.
She's so liberated.
I was thinking the same thing. I couldn't even believe how liberated she felt.
She's so liberated.
Yeah.
And I mean,
she's free as hell.
Her liberation goes as far as even twerking on children. That's a good portion of her music. And then when she does her interviews, she kind of gives off a lot of energy as well.
Piss on me, piss in my mouth. Let me piss on his mouth. Let me piss in your mouth, fart in your face. I want to on top of your hair and rub it in. I like to open my legs, squat my ass over his face, and give me a nice little fart in. Randomly said, who's that girl that always talk about her? The black fat one. One thing about it, baby girl, you see all this? Ain't enough about me fat. And all my teeth is in. One time they broke out, but they're in my mouth right now, sister girl. She said, oh, loose lips, sank ships, baby. One thing about this was never loose, because I only could take 5 inches in. And guess what? You better chill out before I make your husband find out. There ain't nothing loose about this motherfucker. Guess what? This ship don't sink. This ship is Noah's Ark, and it saves 2 animals of every motherfucking species. Your mother ship's Titanic, baby. Mine is Noah's Ark. And baby, if I open this motherfucking leg, you will see this motherfucker ain't never sank a ship. Mine saved the mother world. on top of your hair and rub it in.
Now listen. Now listen. If the twerking for the children did not do it for you, she needs to go to jail. She's a gutter snipe. See, that is one not worth the effort. But here's a problem.
That word.
In our in the black culture in the United States of America, she is looked at as one of the top female entertainers. If you know probably a few names. There'll be a Ice Spice, the Nicki, the Cardi B, and you get to what's that one? I don't know the names, but there's another one I'll say before her. Glorilla. That was the one I was looking for. And then I'm gonna say I'll throw Mulatto in Lotto in there. I'll throw her in there, and then you're gonna get to her. She's top 10 as far as the women named in the rap game, as far as popular black females in rap lyric. That's a problem. She's a whole problem.
Yep. And R'Shaun, I heard about her from, like I was saying before you played the clip. What's an obstacle? She's sitting with this young lady, and the young lady say, so what do you see as obstacles in your profession? And the girl said, what's an obstacle? She was dead serious. She did not know what obstacle meant. And, fast forward to her with the sexual assault trial or whatever case that she got from the little boy kissing her. And again, I didn't know what to do. I froze, or nobody helped me. You see how situational they can be. That's what's insensitive to intellect. Someone that's just looking in like, wait, you could be a man when you want, a woman when you want, and a child when you want. How could you be so interchangeable? I can only be a man. I have to always be a man, take the responsibility and accountability of a man. But you can be a man when you want, sexually liberated, fuck who you want, piss on somebody, shit on somebody, nut on him, yada, yada, yada. Then you could be a woman when you want. Oh, he tried to kiss me. I didn't know what to do. I need to sue. I need to get a charge on him. Then you could be a child when you want. Don't yell at me. Don't give me any correction. Don't tell me what I'm doing wrong, because then I'm going to say white people do it too. White women do it too. Don't tell me that. Like, so childish. So you can interchange into all these phases, but I have to remain the same. It's not fair. And this young girl is a prime example. And what you pointed out, she's the rich people. These are who they make rich in this country. Me and Nikki went to a show 2 weeks ago. It was MC Light. It was Rhapsody. It was another lady named Queen something. And then they had Cash Doll on there too. And guess who came out talking about pussy, dick, ass, Cash Doll, and people started leaving. And it's just that energy. Rhapsody did amazing. MC Light did amazing. But again, look at the people who they make famous. And y'all want to ascribe to this narrative. You don't see the incongruency that they give the money to the people that's going to give it back. The people that's going to catch charges. The people that's going to give it right back to the system. And, it's that part about that I see. I don't like her at all. The missus did a whole show on that young lady because she's particularly something young women aspire to. When we were at the show, Cash Doll got a song called He For Everybody. I think it means like your man be sleeping with everybody. But the last verse she got to, R'Shaun, she said, who's going to come up here and rap this verse? The girl that went up there was about 9 or 10. And let me tell you, Cash Doll told the little girl, she said, you better kill this shit. And the little girl killed it, R'Shaun. Rapped every word about how this man is for everybody. All of the bitch, all of the hoes, all of the fucking insinuations. And my thing about it is this. When she told you, you got to kill it, the pressure was on. And you lived up and performed under the pressure. But let me tell you to go to school and pass the SATs with at least a 1,450. Now that's too much pressure. Let me tell you to not get pregnant before you get married. Now that's too much pressure. Let me tell you to think about your career and put your phone down some and stop worrying about Wi-Fi and what's in my refrigerator all the time. Now that's too much pressure. So again, the differentiation. They want to be able to perform sophistication in some aspects, but then claim to be, naive and unknowing to other situations is what's really, really grinds my gears. And Sukihana is one of those people.
One of those people with me. In the chat, y'all, I did drop the link to Mr. HeSaid's channel because again, I want everybody because I get the brother's insightful. Brother sees stuff and he's a great on the microphone. So again, I really want people to be as much with his content as I am. But again, I gotta say, I'm a fan. I'm just a fan. Yes, mine.
You have no idea how much the feeling is mutual, though, man. Like, you see me in your chat all the time. You see me dropping timestamps. Like, you showed me how to timestamp. I had no idea about timestamps till I'm checking your comments. Like, this motherfucker watches the whole thing. He puts timestamps in his comments, Nikki. She like, yeah, that motherfucker he's ahead of his time. Like, I thought you were young. Like, you're not young. You are
not at all.
Like,
not at
and
all.
Again, the baby face, the wisdom, man, beyond all of our years. And this, again, like you said, what we don't recognize, what we don't, vocalize. Like, it's a lot of men in this space that are something that you can look at as an inspiration. And you, my friend, are one of those people. And I've told you that from the first time I laid eyes on your stream. And I've never wavered, and I'm never gonna. You, Bree, Yella, Candid Ann, what y'all do over there is thought-provoking. It's always a mature conversation. And again, you guys just give an example of what this space was meant to be. So, shout out to y'all. Shout out to you. Keep doing what you do.
Man, listen, King and Dreams, man, I believe I am sub to your channel because I remember you were working with AR a while back. So if you do decide to react to something, please let me know because I like to watch other people's thoughts that are talking about the same topics. Not any type of control thing. I just like consuming people's thoughts and opinions. So please, man, just hit me up with a link or something. It's the R Water coming to a shelf near you for sure, man. I love some Yellow, I love some Bree, man. I love the people in this space because I love the diversity of thought. I love finding people that have different opinions. So to that point, Dury has a question. What do you two disagree on the hardest? Now I'm trying to think because we're not often I don't think we've ever really been on a panel together except for a couple of times.
Mm-hmm. Never anything extensive to disagree emphatically, but what would we disagree on the hardest?
What is your perspective again? Because I know you've spoken on it. I'm gonna tell you one thing I think we disagree on, and it's probably just because I don't have any children. It's probably just I don't have an investment in the future of children, so I don't think about it or research this. But I know Brother HeSaid and Mrs. HeSaid, they both talk about the indoctrination of children with a lot of LGBT promotion, propaganda. There's a lot out there. I've seen quite a bit. Through them exposing it through clips and videos that I would not have believed before that. So if anybody asked me before I started watching their content, is there really a liberal agenda? I'd be like, nah, there's LGBT people who just are fighting to be seen and get representation, and like they want acceptance the same way black people wanted acceptance. If you see me enough, you'll get used to me and then you won't marginalize me. That was the way I believed it. But then when I started seeing some of the stuff, I'm like, oh, that's not a good faith. What I'm seeing right now, that don't match up to what I perceive. Mm-hmm. So off the top, that's one of the things I think we disagree on the most because they see people actually doing some. Mrs. HeSaid, Shame Sunday, this past Sunday, there was a person, there was a drag show for children.
It was.
For children on state-sponsored time because this was during school hours. One of the people had a t-shirt that on the back it said, it's not going to lick itself. I'm like, no. Right. You're not coming you're not coming here just to say, listen, we're here, we're queer, and this is a range of humanity that's possible. No, you have statements on that on your shirt. You show a lack of thought. Because why are you promoting any type of sexuality to children? It's not going to lick itself. That's a problem for me. So when I saw that, I'm like, Jesus Christ. It's hard for me to even accept that like as a reality, but I saw it. I saw it with my own eyes.
I mean, it's about agenda, and we all coexist. I'm from New York, very eclectic. Gay was gay before it was a cool thing. People in our family, people in our community. So, it's always been a prevalent thing, but it's really, insensitive when you want to kind of impose, and that's kind of our approach and how we feel that, of course, children need to be read to, and it doesn't really matter who says the words, but again, the insensitivity of the books, certain things that they pick, certain things and agendas that they push may be a little premature to introduce to our children. I kind of want to, our families want to take the narrative on certain things as far as sexuality and things of that nature. So, you know, I think it's just a little bit of an insensitivity of thrusting the needle forward, so to speak. You know, we have no problem with them learning and being educated, but it's in the time frame. They're doing it under your watch. They're doing it under, you know, your guidelines and the way that you want to do it. And if we can take control over that, whether it be homeschool or whatever the case may be, we would like to be the one that pushes that type of thought process and thinking into their head. But that's just us.
Yeah, I'm with you, and I know Nova wanted to push one of my more radical ideas. It's like that guy that was in Chicago. I mean, life took care of it on its own. But the guy in Chicago, if his mother and father thought he was like a problem in society, I do believe somebody should be able to go to the state, because the state does this already. The state has capital punishment. Two parents should be able to go, but listen, my child is wayward. They won't conform to society. They're a danger to this family. They're a danger to themselves. And you can abort them at the adult level. They could be 20, 30, 40, 50. If both of you adults, and they can prove, like, you've been out there stealing cars. You've been stealing cars for 20 years. You got 6 counts. You got grand larceny, grand theft auto. If they go and can prove their case paper-wise, man, you've been in jail 16 times. So I'm like, man, go ahead. Go ahead. You ain't got to kill nobody.
Yeah, I mean, you definitely want to put the clock on speed, and that's the thing about when you make a mistake, it kind of opens you up for more mistakes. We seen it in school, we seen it in relationships. Like, wait a minute, you don't have a pencil? Let me walk over to your desk. Wait a minute, you ain't do the homework yesterday. You ain't, like, it starts to give you more. Wait, you didn't clean your room? Wait a minute. What, you got cups in the room? Like, now you start to discover more. So I think that deep dive, you know, who knows what that's going to bring if we start to dive down that rabbit hole. So, you know, if we stack it up and it weighs, I mean, what you're going to do, you're not a human that is producing to society. You're not contributing, you're taking away. So you're a negative sign. Let's look at it like that. You could either be a plus sign or a negative sign to the world, and you're a negative sign. So what should we do with you? And again, this is where we are now, that when you allow people to answer their questions, like I said, Bree said earlier, they throw it somewhere else when the obvious, most logical answer is right in front of our face. Let's unpack it. But no, it's not, because it's subjective and it depends. And I know this person that live on the other side of the world at one time, this happened to them. So we can't be doing that. Did you ask everybody? And this is how we get off track of, let's just have the conversation. Let's speak to every conversation we've had in these spaces we could have had. It's not about Sierra and Russell. It's not about the lady and the damn man in the restaurant. It's really not about them. Y'all really can't get past that. It's not about them. But we got children that need to grow up. They need to learn how to live, how to cope, how to deal with different things. And if we can give them examples of what to do, what not to do, what he did, like, all of these different things are just destinations to get our kids to where we want them to be. So for us to push back, for us to say we don't want better humans, like, I get you don't have children, but you got a nephew. You got to pick somebody out of these people.
Yes,
who
sir.
you want to, like, Jesus, that's my thing. I know it's a wrap for the old chicks. I don't say it because they're going to be mad at me, but I'll tell you in a minute, old chick, it's over for you. Like, that's the part y'all don't hear. Y'all just hear them saying, oh, the single women y'all talking about don't have. Nah, we ain't say all of that. We said you made the choices that you made, and now you got the results that you got, and you need to give it up. But what you can do is you can save a younger girl, and they like, yeah, nah, let them walk off the cliff too. Yeah, nah, let them burn. Like, holy shit, you want the little girls to burn? Why y'all over here telling girls not to make bad decisions? Why is y'all over here talking about shaming black girls because they acting stupid and we want them to have better lives than what we have? So that's why we over here doing what we do. But again, it's so insensitive that when some people choose to take the stance that they do, they get the pushback. But when I give you kudos, when I tell you the best thing since sliced bread, there's no pushback there. So, you know, I just see it as if we were a little more, yeah, baby, got it. That's a word, man. If we were a little more purposeful in wanting better for somebody else, a little more selfless, wanting better for somebody else, forget you. But that's what they can't do, R'Shaun. They can't forget themselves. It's still about them.
Still about me, all about me. Woo, let's get back into this Sukihana. Now, after we finish this clip with Sukihana, I want to take like a 2-minute water break. I'll play the music. Everybody can refresh their drink, hit to the bathroom real quick, and then we're going to go into the last segment of questions. We'll be out of here in like right around the hour from now. So it'll be like the third hour of the show, if that's okay with you, Mr. HeSaid, if you have that much time for me.
Man, this is a pleasure, man. It's an honor and a pleasure, and you got me for as long as you need me, bro.
Cool, man. Appreciate you. Let's get back to that because you mentioned something that they're going to get to in just a second here.
However, and also a child, because nobody cared about her.
I forgot she twerked on it. We didn't even. I forgot about
You know,
that.
all
the
so
other
many
things have been.
So
Now, mind you, they just watched a little bit of content. And they had already forgot about her twerking on the child because of all the stuff she was saying in that clip, in that interview.
Yes. And isn't that how life works? They bombard you with so much stuff. They hit you so much. Like, you hate women. Like this, that, like, oh, you bashing men. Like, leave us. You just throw your hands up. Our kids do it to us all the time. Daddy, I need $200. Daddy this, daddy that, daddy that. You know what? Let me just sit down in my chair and be quiet. Y'all leave me alone. And that's what the men of the old days did. They just sat down, threw their hands up like, I'm not dealing with this. I got my little daughter running around. I got her brother in the streets about to go to jail. I got his mother not listening to me. I got bills. I got the car. Let me just sit down in this chair, be quiet, don't say nothing to nobody. And this is where it all goes wrong because somebody get pregnant, somebody go to jail, and we still got to fix it at the end anyway with bail money and emotional support. So that's why, fellas, you need to wave your flag and fucking say it with your chest, because either way you're gonna end up paying for it, and it's your fault anyway. So how the fuck is it gonna be your fault at the end of the day, and you just gonna sit there like a dummy and do nothing? But yeah, this girl right here, man, she is something, and she will get you lost in a sauce because she does so much. She bombards you with so much that you don't even notice that she twerking on a damn little light-skinned little boy right there.
Yeah, just that quick. While they're watching content for the express purpose of diving into what she does, she's given so much stimulation that they've forgotten some of it, the most egregious of it.
So many things have happened since I showed you that.
Yeah.
So that happened. So then, L-Mans of the Year, man. YK Osiris decided to...
She's the girl from that?
Yes.
Oh.
It's the tattoo. It's the tattoo. I know I done seen some rip right there before.
Oh my God.
Also, they're slowing this down.
Oh my. Oh my.
I drink to hide that I'm very sensitive.
Now I'm gonna pause that real quick because I do want to say what old boy did without her permission is sexual assault.
Absolutely.
And for everybody to be completely comfortable and laughing and smiling and hey and after that's weird. That's just as weird to me as what she was doing with the kid.
Psychopath, sociopath. We are insensitive people nowadays. Psychopaths and sociopaths walking around us. And I am not a doctor. I am not giving a clinical diagnosis. But in my opinion, people are very insensitive to human indifference, to human emotion, to the human travel. And it's become more and more. And this is, again, she's the girl that says she don't know what an obstacle is. So I would tell her, bitch, that's an obstacle. And that's what I mean, R'Shaun, the sophistication, jumping in and out the double Dutch rope. Like, you can use the analogies, metaphors, double entendres, all that slick talk when you turn that record button on in that booth. You talk about shitting on people and sucking dick and eating pussy and fucking, and this boy came to you with that energy. I get that. That don't make you a security guard just because you dress like a security guard. I get that. But when he kissed you, guess what you could have said? Nigga, what the fuck you think this is? It ain't going down like that. Yo, who homeboy is this? Yo, get your man. Like, it's so many other words that you can say to let him know that that shit ain't warranted the first time. So when he came in the second time, you know that that's just a no-go, homeboy. I just told you the first time. But again, when you don't know what an obstacle is, when you can jump in that double Dutch rope, oh, you know, I am the most wet, and you don't know. She was saying that he can't handle it before he did all of that. She like, yeah, you can't handle this, all of this over here. And again, just if you're not able to use situational awareness and know that that was an unwarranted approach, and you tell him, listen, man, that was an unwarranted approach, you on your way to jail. The next one gonna get you there. This is all intelligence. This is all consciousness. This is all being conscious of what's going on around you. But when you want to do that and then say, you know, I was a deer in headlights, I didn't know what was going on. Really? Thought you was smart.
Facts.
So, you know, you gotta make me believe it. I don't think it was warranted. I don't think he had any coof, but that's why he's not a gentleman. That's why he doesn't call himself a gentleman. I'm pretty sure if you ask him what type of man he is, he will not say, I am an upstanding gentleman, well-rounded gentleman, well-traveled, well-seasoned gentleman. He'll say something else. I'm a real nigga from around the way that keep it real for all my people. And y'all know how I'm doing out here. It's your boy. They tell you in their jargon, they're only boys. But you'll look past that. You'll listen past that and still sleep with him. And then expect him to be a man when he told you he was a boy. Most of their names is little this and little that and little this and little that and baby. Who the hell wants to sleep with these men? Y'all want to sleep with men that consider themselves babies and lil. So again, you can continue to try to take the emphasis off yourself. But yeah, he was insensitive. He was an asshole. He's a dick. Men are like that. It's not condoning what he did at all. If I was a man, I would have spoke up, but I'm a different type of man. I speak up for a lot of shit that men don't speak up for. So I'm not surprised that they don't speak up in certain situations because they don't speak up a lot. So again, you know, we play this plausible deniability to act like these boys are supposed to be men, and they're not. There's males and there's boys and there's men. You really need to learn to differentiate between and govern yourselves accordingly. When you come up against a boy, don't engage. If you chill, trust me, a man will absolutely speak up for you. But you have to be docile. You have to be needing protection. If you're back and forth with him, if you're just as much energy as him, I'm not stepping in. Y'all got something going on, me and Mrs. Jones, and y'all can continue that. But when a lady is like, sir, that's really not the energy I want. I don't want to go down this road with you, sir. Come on, I'm a lady. You're a man. You shouldn't be talking to me like that. That's when a man say, yo, you heard what she said, man? She's telling you that she don't want to engage with you like that. But again, that's that situational awareness that we have to enact. We enact it when we want our husbands to take up for us. Yeah, my husband right here. So, you know, again, and then I seen the same woman jump on the panel like, why'd she do all of that? You mean what you just did to your husband last week? Ain't no different. It was just a gun involved in this one. Y'all still putting y'all men in really horrible situations. So we need to protect y'all. But at the same time, and I know it's coming up, that protection piece, y'all got to protect us with y'all mouth, with y'all demeanor, with y'all attitude. Don't put me in some shit that's going to get me popped or I got to pop somebody.
I'm feeling it. Now, listen, I want to say hello to Godless Sewing. You were coming in a section where we were just talking about Sukihana. So there was just we're going to have a little bit more conversation. This was the part I put a trigger warning in beforehand. So you weren't here when I put the trigger warning up because there is going to be conversation about sexual assault because there is some stuff in here that is on both ends of the spectrum here. So I just wanted to warn you, because that part will be part of the conversation. And after we finish this video clip, which we are more than halfway through, we are going to take a quick 2-minute break and then refresh and then come back. Now you guys can read that on the screen because they're getting ready to talk about her response to that assault. Even though we saw her again twerking on the kid, we saw how she speaks during her interviews. I will say this before I hit play. I do believe even if you are a sex worker, you are not on the clock 24/7. You should be able to move about the country without being engaged in sex without your consent. So no matter how much you talk about sex as your profession, it does not give anybody the right to touch you without your consent. So I'm starting with that as my premise. But I also want to contend, though, that if you're also being a predator, because we treat predators very differently, child predators, there's a very specific way that people think about that. All the gloves are off. So we're going to have a conversation about that in just a second, because she switches into victim mode, and I have an issue with that.
I feel things more than the average person. I stopped drinking yesterday, but today I've been crying all day. I asked God to strengthen me and use me to help others and to order my steps in His Word. I just want to go away for a while. And then also she followed up saying, I am hurt. I am scared to stand up for myself. So, everybody.
On a side note, because she did mention God, what about her is in the words of anything God has ever said?
So that's where the back and forth is going.
I wanted to say first, thank you to everyone who has reached out. I want to acknowledge that YK R'Shaun has apologized to me both privately and publicly, and I've chosen to accept his apology. God always forgives me, and I can always forgive others. My accepting his apology is not excusing or lessening the severity of his actions. This is destiny choosing to give grace to Osiris. He is young. It is my prayer that as this experience will cause him and others to be more mindful and respectful to the personal boundaries of others. I'm human, I'm a woman, she's a mom, wow, and a daughter before I'm an entertainer. No matter what my lyrics express, I still have boundaries and a right to have them. That's a fact.
Yeah.
I want to publicly offer my sincerest apology to Sukihana in an attempt to be playful. Yeah, real playful.
That's a crazy way to say that, bro.
I misread the moment and violated Suki's boundaries. I understand the importance of consent, and I am embarrassed by my behavior. I take full responsibility and have made multiple attempts to apologize. I have the utmost admiration for her, and it was never my intention to disrespect her.
She does things that is very odd, very weird, and on a separate note, it should be addressed. These are things that are not acceptable. Her twerking on a child is not.
That's insane.
That's insane. That should not be happening. I don't know.
I
what's
just
wrong
know
with
if it
y'all.
was the other way around, it's not no light shit like, oh, they will assassinate this nigga, bro, as they should. But it didn't even that kid is literally he's not interested in none of that. They're literally coercing him to be put in this situation.
Even if they're not twerking on the child, just having children around
it makes no
while
sense.
you're doing this makes no sense at all.
Why even point your sexual attention and your energy in whatever art you're doing towards
a child? Yeah,
that makes no sense.
And
if you're gonna do it, at the end of the day,
no,
you don't have to do it. That's you.
No,
okay?
Don't do this.
No, not to a kid. I'm just talking. If you want to be sexual in that interview right there, basically the whole titty was out.
Yes.
Right. If that's how you want to be, for me, as long as you're not violating nobody around you, it really doesn't matter. Do what you want to do, but keep it to adults.
Keep it to adults. And this is leading me to my last question of this section, brother. He said, last section of this, because I know if this were a man, if a man were in any, because Aries Spears faced this recently, and Tiffany Haddish caught backlash for being even a part of it. Even playfully having a skit that sexualizes children from a man's perspective, can't do it. Can't do it. So then with Sukihana in specific, what we've seen, why does society both accept degeneracy from women and protect and enable their ability to do so? How is she not canceled? That's work. You cannot have your stuff. You cannot have your stuff on television twerking. You can't have that on TV. No. Because if a dude had a little girl, anywhere between 8 to 15, 8 to 15, I'll give it 16, 17. If you'd have thrown anybody under 18 in the video with a grown man, with him bending her over in front of him, the way she was bent over in front of that boy, it's a wrap. It's a wrap.
I mean, that's the superiority. That's what they're trying to show us, that we are better than y'all. We can do things that y'all can't do. And we absolutely understand that. Again, R'Shaun, when the last time you was at the club and you seen a man just gyrating, and another man patting his penis like, yeah, that's my friend. That's my friend. Patting, showing off how big it is. But that's what they do with girls' butts. They bend over, smack their girl butt, grab her titties, be shaking them, all of that. A girl can touch a girl more intimately than a man can. And I could be her possible husband, protector, provider, everything. And that's the superiority that they show. That, again, like I said, they can interchange from whatever category they want. They could be children when they want, get you in trouble, call the police, call security, call the judge, call whoever, but they will get your ass in trouble. Then they could be a man when they want, because they're going to tell you what to do and tell you they make just as much money as you and they drive just as good a car as you. I could do everything that you could do. I really don't need you. Then they could be a woman too, because I was drinking. I stopped drinking today, and now God, and I'm sorry. And I took his apology, and he said, I'm sorry, and God, and don't Starbucks do the same thing? We sent him to a sensitivity class. He said he's sorry. Come buy coffee again. This is the American way. This is the American narrative. No one has to be accountable for their actions. Just say sorry. Say you learned a lesson. You know, I respect her to the utmost. No, you don't. She want to shit on people. She let people shit on her, and she eat cum. Right. And how you respect her? You're lying. Just like the other little boy who lost his girlfriend to the BBL, you know, God is with me. He's walking me through the kids. But she chose to get the most dangerous fucking surgery ever. Like, they all liars. They all use God-fearing in their explanation and think that shit just absolves them, because you know what they was told? You could do whatever you want except kill yourself, and you can ask for forgiveness, and we gonna forgive you. And that's how they operate their whole fucking life. They think they could just be cantankerous, be dysfunctional, be less cerebral, and still get the results that I get. Still just say, you know, I deserve to have better, so give me better. And they get it. Mm-hmm. It's preposterous, and it's a slap in the face to people that work hard, to the good families in Chicago, to the good families in Baltimore, to the good families in New York, to the people who are trying to do something different, but nobody sees them because the world need to just burn Chicago away because it's Chicago. You don't think about the good families in Chicago that's working hard to try to fight the narrative. But bus drivers get flushed down the toilet. $40,000 get flushed down the toilet. Guys that come home to their wife every night get flushed down the toilet. You know why? Because we don't know if he beating her when they go behind clothes. Like, it's just so dismissive, so unremorseful to even the good examples. We find reasons to disqualify. And this is just the American way. Mm-hmm. Like Sukihana, like light-skinned homeboy, like the people on the podcast, like all of the boxes we sit in, we've learned from America to be insensitive to each other, to, you know, destroy each other, to crab in a barrel each other, all of the cliches. It's unbelievable. And we buy into it and act like it's not our choice to buy into it. But I'm not buying into Sukihana. I'm not buying into Homeboy's apology, either of their actions in the way that they handled it, because for them to be the people who are celebrities, the people who do make the upper echelon of money, they the ones that are in the spotlight when the people who working hard every day get written off as, you know, struggle love, and that shit is whack. So, you know, the days of the Cosbys is gone, the Huxtables, I should say. And now we looking at Sukihana as our inspiration, and what she says goes. When she's sexually liberated, she's that. When she's a victim, she's that. And we just have to play along and listen to what she says. But how is that different from our mom? How is that different from our wife? How is that different from our daughters? We play along with what they say. They say, do it, we do it. You eat it, you eat it. I cooked. You lucky I even cooked, nigga. So here, you better take this. You better not tell me that you don't like it. You better not tell me it was undercooked or overcooked, or it's not to your liking, because you should just be happy that I cooked. But if we say you should be happy that I paid these bills and I came home, they'd be like, oh, you insensitive. Turn around and tell us that a good man is hard to find, R'Shaun. A man that will be monogamous to you and pay the bills and be respectful, that's a hard man to find. So who's really the prize? Or is there even a prize? How about we just be good to each other and appreciate each other for what we do and go from there? So, you know, maybe I'm different. Maybe I'm crazy. Maybe I'm just old. But I didn't die.
Facts. Now listen, we just finished the Sukihana video, and we just finished the next to last section. We just finished the appeal to emotion, man. I'm sure a lot of y'all felt some of that, something that came out of that section, man. Y'all felt something. Facts. But we are getting ready to take a quick water break, so go ahead and refresh your glasses, man. Give it 2 minutes, man. If y'all gotta go, step away. About 2 minutes, 30 seconds, man. You know, refresh your glass or step to the water room and do what you need to do. We'll be right back.
We appreciate your patience and want to thank you for waiting. We should be returning any moment now. In the meantime, like the video and make sure notifications are on, because R'Shaun is impatient and does not like to keep people waiting. So see you soon.
I guess it's only one thing that'll catch my eye, but as soon as I try, something bonds my side. In a way, I feel this moment's phony. Lame, I feel I'm always lonely. Not the best step forward, but the one you show me. Like the next test, or it be the right one for me. Is it rude if I say that you felt odd? Why did you leave all my hopes being passed by? It's only one thing that'll catch my eye, but as soon as I try, something bonds my side. In a way, I feel this moment's phony. Lame, I feel I'm always lonely. Not the best step forward, but the one you show me. Like the next test, or it be the right one for me. Is it rude if I say that you felt odd? Why did you leave all my hopes being passed by? Pessimistic cause I have glass couldn't hold me. When you run it back, I can't forget what teacher told me. Time is not a fact, it's only know that cause you sold me. It's gonna fold me, not console me and control me. He really rolled me, I compose me for the homies. So will it mold me or disown me? Is he cold? Yeah, give him 50 cents, so just imagine if you owe me. I cannot repent now when I wish him to the old me. If I go again, is it proof in the box? I probably wouldn't be this slow if I knew how to stop. Yo, I can reach the shit from home if it's smooth on the rocks. So goose for the shots, I had to know it grew out the notch. Just take me away, I had to know it wasn't no way for loving the same. I had to see the riff in the game. A tragedy, a masterpiece is there, aloof for the name. From swinging feet to energies, and now there's room for the pain. There's only one thing that'll catch my eye, but as soon as I try, something bonds my side. In a way, I feel this moment's phony. Lame, I feel I'm always lonely. Not the best step forward, but the one you show me. Like the next test, or it be the right one for me. Is it rude if I say that you felt odd? Why did you leave all my hopes being passed by? Only one thing that'll catch my eye, but as soon as I try, something bonds my side. In a way, I feel this moment's phony. Lame, I feel I'm always lonely. Not the best step forward, but the one you show me. Like the next test, or it be the right one for me. Is it rude if I say that you felt odd? Why did you leave all my hopes being passed by? Yeah, is it rude if is it rude if oh my, Drink.
Welcome back. Give me a second to catch up on the chat. Got Fire Flames from here. It's Tri Media Group, and
Yes,
they
sir.
dancing. I have to question the concept of role models. If you believe certain values or beliefs are right, embody them yourself, regardless of what anybody else does. I can respect it.
Yeah, I've done that. Again, you know, I've took everything from TV, R'Shaun. I'm not gonna lie to you, man. Joni and Chachi, Kid and Play, Batman and Robin, Cagney and Lacey, Starsky and Hutch, Dwayne and Whitley. Like, again, it's always been two people that have to coexist. Even the two old men in the Muppet Show. Like, it doesn't have to be a man and a woman. Oscar and Felix, one was a slob and one was a neat freak, but you didn't see the kitchen dirty. You didn't see the living room dirty. Only his room was dirty because boundaries. Like, you could be as dirty as you want in your space, but don't bring that shit over here. And I think that's what people don't want to do to coexist with another person is assess their flaws, assess what they can do. They too busy treating people like they want to be treated, which is selfish as hell. Treat people the way they want to be treated. Ask them, how do you want to be treated versus treating everybody how Mr. HeSaid want to be treated. What if R'Shaun don't like what Mr. HeSaid like? But I'm out here just selfish all Christian, treating people like I want to be treated, and that's not right. Ask them, take the time to be selfless and say, what do you need? Like Candid Ann told y'all earlier, I ask my wife all the time, call me a simp, call me whatever, but how can I be a better lover, better man, better husband, better father for you, for our kids from your perspective? Because I have my own perspective, but I don't know about you though. And that's why I take you out. I don't want to ask you in the kitchen. I want to ask you out somewhere where the ambiance is, it just gets you to open up. Like, people don't get levels of sophistication. She's not going to open up in the kitchen, the same place we are every day. Like, take her out. Get her to open up. Like, what can I do better for you? But that's what men don't do because they simple. But again, another question I asked, I don't get no answer. Did we get an answer to the question that we asked about the homosexuality? The question that I ask is, how many men are willing to eat their woman pussy and just walk away? No nut for them. And then go make her a sandwich. Yeah, you're going to call me a simp, but I could take your girl whenever the fuck I want, nigga. Because I know how to treat her. I know she wants to be treated a certain way, that she deserves consideration. She want to be freaked out too. But it's just, we so simple. We just think that the remote and the sandwich and the silence, that's what keep me happy. Well, y'all simple niggas, y'all keep that keeping y'all happy, but y'all see where that got us.
You right. There's a problem. Because like what they say, like I want to say, I think Yella says it, because there's like some meme, they don't know who no more. Like, there's no wooing of the woman. There's no romance. There's no romance of the woman. So there are issues there, because you're going to have to, she has to, we were talking, we had that conversation earlier. The woman has to want to be interested in you as well. It's all good to be interested in her, but she also has to want to be interested in you to maintain a relationship, because they're free. They're free, and they can choose out. So you got to keep that interest. So I'm with you.
You know, and that's, you know, that's what I thought it was. I thought it was, you know, you could be with anybody, but you chose me. And I got mad love to give you, my nigga. Like, how do we lose sight of the shit that we say is our culture? But that's what it is. Like, she could be with anybody. He could be with anybody, but they chose you. So how about solidify their choice? Show them that they made the right choice. Like, that's all I can do, R'Shaun, is show Nikki that she made the right choice. She could walk out any day. But when she do, I just want her to turn around and be like, yo, I left a good nigga. I hope this next nigga is better. Because this nigga was pretty good. The nigga he was all right to me. And that's all we can do as men is, you know, create a bar and clap some cheeks. My man. He said if he eat that thing, them cheeks is getting clapped. Right, I know that, Yella. But again, she's not even anticipating that you just walk away. And you gonna clap them cheeks. Trust me, you is. But you don't got to do it right then. And you are going to wow her. Because she ain't never had no man consider her like that.
Facts.
This is what y'all was talking about earlier. Like, women don't come. This is why we got to fight an uphill battle, R'Shaun. This is why we got to take you out. We got to fly you out. We got to have all the conversation. Because when it comes to the sex time, the Mr. Nasty time, we the ones that have fun. They don't have no fun. They don't get no climax. Who's going to be looking forward to the next time if they don't even get no climax?
Facts.
So this is why they put them through such a hard time. They have a headache. They ain't like all of that. Because, nigga, you don't be putting it down. But if fellas, if y'all thought about pleasing a woman versus having a million women, then you probably would get better results. But when I go to a wedding, I say one toast, R'Shaun. I said it recently at my best friend's wedding. Any boy can please a million women. It take a man to please one woman a million times.
I like it. I like it. I like it. What I mean by problem. Yeah, that dude, I completely agree with you. I think we've lost that art. I think we've lost that interest. Forget the art. We've lost the interest. We've lost the interest to want to investigate who the woman is. Because a lot of the time, and this is sad, man. It's sad. We've lowered the bar so much. Just sitting and listening to women, it feels like they feel like it's an anomaly. Just sitting and listening and having an interested ear in what they have to say, that's rare. Forget anything else. Forget trying to please or being of service. Just being a listening ear that actually cares about what they say and doesn't automatically assume like you don't know what you're talking about. That's rare. So I get you. I'm with you.
I mean, but like you said, that's why therapy exists, because we have fucked up families. Our family is supposed to be our therapy, our AA, our support group, the people who listen without judgment, the empathetic ear. That's supposed to be our family. But because in America, not just our culture, American culture, family is a little less than. They're very judgmental. They're very a lot of stuff. And we can't turn it in. We got to go to a room full of strangers in order to be listened to be heard, get a little sympathy, a little empathy. And again, that's why therapy exists. That's why all these support groups exist, because our families are horrible. And if that's what you came from, you should be wanting and aspiring to create a different trajectory for your family. It should be a place where you can talk, a place where a dictionary is, so that you can learn the words to express what you want to say. Because in my family, they didn't have the words. So again, learning from our mistakes, trying to break generational curses, trying to break generational cycles, trying to create generational wealth and legacy, and all of these cliche words they say. Are we really doing it? Do you got an encyclopedia in your house? You got a printer? You got paper? You got all of the tools that they need so that they don't got to go to the library, so that they don't got to go outside? It's bananas to me. We say we love the kids, but we send them to where the food is terrible. They could get shot at any time. The learning is inadequate. The surroundings are inadequate. They don't have AC. They don't have heat. But we send them there though. But we love them. And that's why we say, get the fuck out of here with that shit. We don't believe y'all. You would be making better decisions. You would be taking better measures to make sure that these people get what they need, so you can eliminate all of the excuses, because they're gonna blame us for something. That's what y'all 30-year-olds and y'all 20-year-olds, y'all don't get. No matter what you give your kids, they're going to blame you for something.
Facts.
And it's on you to be able to stand in that correction and make the necessary adjustments. In hindsight, they will come back to you and say, oh man, oh lady, you were right. But it took them to see that. And you got to be there for the whole maturation of that. And that's where we dropped the ball. We not there from day one. And that's very operative, fellas. To be there from day one, to see all of the changes, to be present is important. And we played a show on Thursday, Not the Mama. I don't care what you do, fellas. They're going to blame you. You could be Steve Harvey. You could be Master P. You could be away working all the time. They're going to blame you for being away working all the time. You could be home with them. They're going to blame you for being home all the time, not out working. So no matter how you cut and slice it, you're going to get it. That's why I say stand in your purpose. Be unapologetic in your approach. You can always double back with them. They're your kids. They love you. That's your wife. She love you. That's your girl. She love you. But you got to stand your ground and let them know that you is who you is, and you was that before you even met them. Stop acting like you was with them the whole time. You was walking by yourself trying to figure out what kind of man you was going to be before you even met them. Don't forget that. Be true to yourself. Take back your home. Be a man. Walk in your purpose. Take your responsibility. Stop making excuses. Because it's a slap in the face for niggas like R'Shaun, who raised his nephew. It's a slap in the face for niggas who've been with their woman for 20 years and raised all of their kids from day one and go to work, and you tell me all I get is a cookie? It's disrespectful. It's insensitive, and I just don't think every man deserves it. If you want to give it to the Pookies and the Ray Rays, and I agree with Bree. Let the Pookie alone. Leave him alone. Damn. He's what not to do. At least tell the kids, look at Pookie and don't be Pookie. But he's therapeutic too. He's beneficial too. So leave Pookie alone. I'm with you, Bree. God damn it. Y'all need to ease up. It's bananas, R'Shaun. I thank you for letting me come on here and get on my soapbox, man. But you are one of the people who I can absolutely, have this approach, have this demeanor and still be accepted and be able to come on tomorrow without something crazy happening. So I appreciate you for that, man. Thank you for allowing me to rant.
Man, for sure. We need more honest criticism that's not coming from a place of. There's a lot of times, a lot of our criticism comes from a place of trauma or woundedness, as opposed to like triage or wound repair, like where we can prioritize where the trauma lies and then start to repair people in the order of need. So there's a difference to me. Like you talked about constructive criticism versus like blunt truth. Like there's a difference. And I believe you and your wife offer a lot of constructive criticism because you don't attack people. Y'all attack the behaviors. And to me, that's always constructive. Y'all don't single anybody out. Like personally, that somebody's listening, y'all don't single anybody out. So I think we need stuff like that. We need stuff like that. But to this last section, this is making the closing move. Making the closing move. Because in a hustle, in the last sec, you gotta make the you gotta make the close. You have to make the close.
You see the deal.
Gotta close out. So here's where we're gonna start. This was another question from brother HeSaid, and this is definitely I will say a passion of both the Harris Tribe Media right here. Boom. Where is a child truly safe? Is there a place or environment in our modern society that a child 100% safe and secure? And I didn't even want to clip it, the conversation, but I heard somebody say, and there's some truth to it, but I'm starting to question that basically, again, watching y'all's content. They said that children are safer at a pride parade than in church. And I'm like, that's tough. Because I've heard about all the harm that's befalling women, boys and girls in church. I've heard predatory pastors, and God forbid, if I ever hear somebody in my life to say they're becoming a youth pastor, if I ever hear the word youth pastor come out of somebody I care about mouth, I'm about to be a youth pastor. I'm probably going to disown them because I the youth pastor label. Oh no, you after these kids. But I understand the desire for people to say stuff like that because people are not being sexually assaulted more often than not at these pride parades. Even at these LGBT events at schools, people are not being sexually assaulted. People are being sexually assaulted at home, at their neighbor's house when they sleep over, when they visit, at church. We all know about the Catholic Church. So I get where people would say that, but I don't think there is a place. I don't know that there is a place where children are safe in this world. Because if you're not safe in your home, as a matter of fact, a lot of people are not even safe in their mother's womb. Because a lot of these selfish people can't even stop taking drugs and alcohol while they know they're pregnant. Or won't even tell people around them that they're pregnant while they indulge in all these things. I was just listening to somebody and they were talking about they were having sex with somebody. They wasn't even the child's father. They were having sex unprotected with some other man while they were 7 months pregnant. Like, so people will do what they want to do. The children are never safe because we don't have children out of a desire to have family. A lot of us have children to feel some other need. I want something to love me. I want to anchor myself to this man or woman. There's some other thing that we're serving, but it's never that human. Very few people think I'm making a human being. So I can't believe that there's a safe place. When you asked this question, I was like, crap, I can't think of a place. And now that's your question. I'll ask you to answer your own question, but it's hard for me, man.
I couldn't think of one. And that question came from my brother R'Shaun. Again, he's 11 years older than me, and he reflects on childhood, on a time where a village raised a child, where you were at least, safe at the neighborhood functions. You were safe in the PAL. You were safe in AmeriCorps. Like you were safe at Yogi Bear. Different things in New York City, whether, religious, spiritual, sports minded, but it was places and communities where it was harmonious. And again, even if somebody stepped outside of the guidelines, the boundaries, you were corrected by the community. And it's just so different now that, like you said, from the womb to the tomb, I can't think of one place where I would be relaxed that my child is at. And what made me reflect is we got grown children, R'Shaun. They never spent the night out nowhere until they were grown, God damn it. Like we not doing that. We not putting you at the risk. We don't know what. Yeah, it's our brother, but we don't know who coming over. We don't know who's hanging around. Yeah, it's our sister, but again, the unforeseen, thinking to Z, Z12, Z26, fuck Z. Most people go, oh, A to Z. How about Z32? How about all of the multiverses? Like, and that's what we're not even going to put you at risk of that. So here's what we're gonna do. When you leave and go to college, that's when you gonna leave this motherfucker. And we're their parents. That's something that's the only thing we had, R'Shaun. We were very young, we were very poor, we were trying to find our way. So the only thing we could give our kids is honesty. It's the only thing we can afford to give them right now. So we're gonna give it to you. Raw like cocaine straight from Bolivia. And that's how we brung them up. Yeah, you're special in here, but when you cross that threshold, you ain't special no more, goddamn it, little girl. And that's, women are princesses, don't hit them, don't touch them, don't, let them. Yeah, that's why we are where we are right now. If more people said you are a regular person like everybody else, you need to make your way like everybody else, then maybe they would understand. But daddies, granddaddies, mamas, and all of the rest, we appease them. We tell them they are these Disney princesses that deserve a happy ending and deserve. No one deserves any goddamn thing. You have the right to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, because happiness is subjective. You got the right to pursue it, but nobody even knows what the fuck it is. So when you say you deserve it, that's when we get a little insensitive because you bugging out. But when we say that, we're insensitive. But nah, this is the way the world works. All's fair in love and war. You have the right to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Like, certain things are what they are. You can't change them. And this is what they do. They make them subjective, try to change them. Well, what do life mean to you? What do liberty mean to you? Well, did you ask everybody what do liberty mean to them? No, but children are safe nowhere. And that's what is so fucked up about the world, that there's no morality, there's no sensitivity, there's no maturity to say, God damn it, we got to create a healthy environment for these little flowers. They need light, they need water, and like, if they don't get these things, they're going to die. And we create the most horrible conditions and expect a rose to grow through concrete. And again, look at Tupac. He was a rose that grew through concrete. And what did we do to him? Criticize this shit out of him and put him in a casket. Martin Luther King wouldn't hit nobody. Even if you hit him, shot a rocket launcher at him, he wouldn't hit you back. What was his reward for that? So, all this turn the other cheek and you should have walked away and y'all black men, a real man would have did this. It's funny how the definition of a man comes from everybody but a man. Shit is disheartening. And to fight this uphill battle to even a good man, Michael Jackson, Martin Luther King, to talk about how he had girlfriends. Michael Jackson to talk about the monkey. Like, you bring up a man, I'll tell you some flaws that they'll point out about him. And that's what I mean. There's not one man that could walk this earth that just gets honorable respect because. And we ain't supposed to see none of that. Fuck out of here. And every woman I see, I'm supposed to just bow down and let her talk to me the way she want. Like, it's super insensitive, man. And, fellas, I love y'all. Ladies, I love y'all too. But we got to be more sensitive to each other, because the world is not. The world is not going to perpetuate us to be good to each other. Y'all see what they're doing. So we're going to have to take the emphasis on ourselves and be good to each other and love upon each other and admire each other, because they are not going to encourage it, man.
No, I'm 100% with you. There's definitely a culture problem where we've shifted so far. It's bad. But To get to the next question, in the same vein as that one, have we traded our babies for the bag? Traded living for lifestyles? What do you think about that?
I wouldn't say traded, but I would definitely say prioritized it over. I really think our households run off of what we prioritize. If you prioritize reading, then reading will be done in your home. But if you prioritize, gutter snipe, they will be outside all the time. If you don't create a healthy environment, they will fall in love with the street. So, I think we have the wrong priorities. It's all about Jordans for 1-year-olds that'll grow out of them in 3 months. Shit is bananas. It's all about edges and hair and belts and small jeans and Bentleys.
Don't start me with the little
just
jeans.
all of these things again, t-shirts by Nicki. Like, until they learn that their family is a brand, their name is a brand, they don't need all of that shit to define them. They gonna do it, R'Shaun. They simple as fuck. And until they see that they simple as fuck, they gonna continue to be simple as fuck. But again, when you bloviate, I don't know who you trying to convince, me or you, but I know it's you, because I know what I think already.
Shoot, I 100% agree. No, I've been wanting to call a few people out on that too, but man, you pointing some stuff out, man. But anyway, I'm gonna get to the next question I got for you, and we're gonna get to the men's. Brother, he said, why do men react so strongly, in your opinion, of course, when the women are acting similarly to how men have behaved? Is the behavior wrong in and of itself, or is it only wrong when we see women do it?
Nah, it's just threatening. You probably be a better man than him. So, I mean, that's the sophistication that we have to look through. Like, look at what they really saying, y'all. They really speaking to y'all. They just saying different words. Everybody don't have the words to express themselves. That's something that I learned a lot. And the people that don't have the words to express themselves, they're going to elevate their voice. They're going to use curse words. They're going to use, demeaning tactics. They're going to do that. And it's just an indication that, they're intimidated. They're threatened. And I would be threatened too. Again, look at the way women lead. They lead with their wallet now, like us. I got a good job. I got a good car. I got a good house. Like, you're a better fucking man than me. So, I'm going to attack. I'm going to attack your manhood. It's going to look really unique that me and you are going back and forth, but that's the level that we've both sunken down to. And that's what, we as men say. Sometimes, ladies, the way you display those credentials can be misleading. We know that you guys are goal driven. We know that you guys are, self-sufficient. Absolutely. But when you word it the same way we word it, the same way, because that's what you guys criticize us for. And again, now I'm having a fucking epiphany. That's what y'all do. Because when you say you have a good job and you got a car too, and you can do, you're presenting yourself the same way I present myself when you reject me. Because when I say, hey, baby girl, I want to talk to you for a minute. Can I get a minute of your attention? And you go, nah, nigga, you're not my type. You work for UPS, please. I go, oh, word, bitch. I got a good fucking job. I got a fucking car. Like, how you trying to play me? Like, I got my shit together. That's what we do when y'all reject us. So again, just like when y'all attack our sexuality, you guys are using the same things to demean us that you say is what you want and is okay in society. And it's really confusing. So, all we want to do is be nice to you. And if you don't want me to particularly be nice to you, okay, I get that. I truly do. But when I say I'm going to be nice to, Felicity, You can't attack me and say I hate my mama because I want to be nice to Felicity now, or I want to go across the seas and see Guadalupe, and you say, well, you know, she just using you for a green card. It's really similar to when you say, well, if he gonna cheat on me, then I don't need him. If he gonna leave me, if he gonna beat on me, if he gonna wait a minute. How are these good guys turning into bad guys at the same goddamn time? Like, he's with you. He's with you. Oh, well, if he's with me and he gonna beat on me, then he might as well leave. God damn, when did he become that guy? So, you know, that's what I see. When you guys speak and you're speaking about two guys and at the same time, it's really confusing. Pick a guy. If we're talking about good guys that take care of their families, let's talk about them. Let's talk about the respect you're going to show them. Let's talk about the appreciation you're going to show them. Let's talk about how we're going to reciprocate our relationship. This intelligent, worthy guy. Don't change him to, well, if he beats me then, because he just became a negative guy. And they both can't exist in the same world. So if the situation arises, absolutely, we can talk about it. But in context, in general, in conversation, let's remain focused. And if we're talking about a good guy, we're talking about a good guy. If we're talking about Pookie, we're talking about Pookie, and let's remain on that premise. But we cannot continue to jump double dutch between both of these men at the same time and think we're going to get results, because we're not.
Definitely with you on that one. But I wanted to shout out to the world class. I saw one of his comments came from my side. Appreciate you for sliding over here before you slid back to Mr. HeSaid. So I definitely appreciate the love and the checkout. The world class. Now, this one, man, this is a question that I've been hearing in these conversations quite a bit. But I have a particular feeling about this one. But I want to ask you, can black men, especially, actually lead families, households, and communities while not controlling resources? And did prior generations accomplish it off of hope and control? But we've lost both.
We can control our resources, our finances. If you can't control your own finances, that's a problem. You got a whole nother conversation to have. So controlling resources, I get overall, you know, we definitely need to open more businesses and invest in ourselves. But again, how can we do that when we praise Gucci and everybody else when we got a last name just like them? And I don't see anybody putting that pride in their name. But we can lead our households. We can lead our finances. We can be an example. And prior generations accomplish it off of hope and control. No, they didn't. They did it off of consciousness. Again, everybody figured out their role and they did it. Even if Grandpa sat down in his seat and he was quiet, Big Mama did what she needed to do to leave us a house. But why did they do so much more with so much less? They had less education, less money, but they left us a house. Now, whether or not your stupid ass family sold it like mine, or you still got it and you go back to it. But Big Mama put in the work to get a lot of us, you know, the place that we call home, that central hub or home base. We are not doing the same things. Yeah, we got a lot of degrees. We got a lot of jobs. We got a lot of money. We buying a lot of houses. But if we not with nobody, who these houses going to? Y'all could keep telling me about legacy, but legacy mean generation to generation. If you give your money to your kids and your kids fuck it up, what legacy you created? You don't know what they're going to do after you die. Like R'Shaun say in the intro, you going to be dead, fool. So, you James St. Patrick, you got to do a trust, and he got to go to college, and he got to finish, and he even fucked the trust up. So y'all were like, legacy? Really? Fuck out of here. Y'all not even instilling in y'all kids any morals to create legacy. If y'all leave them some money, they gonna fuck it up. I hate to break it to you. They gonna fuck it up. Man. So again, you know, I hear what everybody say with the talking points, and sometimes people just be reaching on the tree of accountability when they fall in to grab whatever branch they can. But no, we could take whatever type of leadership we want in our house. but you got to have some fucking nuts in order to do it. You got to stand on some sort of an island in order to do it. And it's going to be cold. It's going to be raining, but you're going to have to stand on that island by yourself and wave your flag and let them know that I'm going to be here and I'm not wavering. And that's how it gets done. So, you know, we definitely need more circulation of our money and by our people, with our own people. And again, that's a choice. But I see all of the praising of foreign cars, foreign clothes, foreign belts, foreign women, everything foreign. And that's, you know, just shows that, motherfucker, you not looking very hard. You're not looking very hard. But do what you got to do. If you got to go to another court to be the best player, I am not one to say don't, because I understand. I'm a sports person. If you can't get picked first over here, go over there. But at the same time, understand that you can practice. You can get better to be the best person on this court to get picked first. But you got to put the work in order to do it. And then go back to the flag that I wave. It's all on you, motherfucker. Practice. Practice. You bad at dribbling? Practice dribbling. You bad at relationships? Practice relationships. But if you ain't flex your relationship muscle in 6 years and you think you just gonna come out and bench press, you bugging the fuck out. You bug out. And that's all I'm saying is I point out shit like that and I get called insensitive for pointing it out.
Yeah, buddy. Whatever you practice, man, even if you practice singleness, that's what you're going to be good at. You're going to be good at singleness. You can't practice relationship being single. It's weird. But anyway, man, to that legacy point, man, it doesn't matter as much what you create and leave behind as it matters who you create and leave behind. Because, man, what you create and leave behind is much more dependent on who you create and leave behind. So, man, we need to worry about creating good people. We need some good people. We need some stand-up people. We need to start passing that off. Instead of worrying about, man, this bag or this generational wealth, man, we don't even have generational health. We're worried about we getting money. The stuff that's in our control, we're not even worried about. But, I mean, I'm not preaching down. I'm looking at myself when I say that, too.
I hear you. Me, too. You see me here with a reefer stick in my hand. I'm 50 years old. But again, you know, we make choices, and it's about how you balance it out. How much water do you drink, Mr. Weed Smoker? How much fruit and salad do you eat, Mr. Weed Smoker? So, you know, if you're cannabis aware, if you are understanding that moderation and how you supplement holistically accounts for your diet, then by all means. But at the same time, if you're just going to indulge, you got to understand what you're indulging in. So, you know, shout out to everybody that do the hookah and the crab legs and the Hennessy, man.
The hookah, the crab legs, and Hennessy. Hookah and Hennessy. Well, Mr. HeSaid, man, it's been a pleasure, but I have one last legitimate question for you in this section. You know, we hear a lot of red pill manosphere types. Even if they don't know that they're red pill manosphere, there's an ideology that goes behind that. They don't like the label, but they espouse the ideology. Oh, shoot. No, I got two questions. Oh, shoot. I didn't put one of them in here. Great. I got two questions. But this is the next to last one. We know about the red pill, the manosphere, the guys in this space, no matter what label they wear. What, in your estimation, would be the most important things for a man to focus on in each of these lanes? So these three different lanes. Finding a partner, being a partner, which is the matriculation up from finding a partner, and further matriculation up to being a parent, from partner to parent. If you could tell me about what do you think what the priority should be on a man focusing on those three zones?
Absolutely. I think this is something that we all as men come to as crossroads, either consciously or subconsciously. Me, a lot of it was subconscious. What it takes. Put the question up so I can bang it. I want to be able to bang it out.
Gotcha.
What's the most important thing for a man to focus on in each of these lanes? Family building is first. Selflessness. You are going to have to be a leader. You are going to have to be a face of the team. But at the same time, you are a worker bee. the queen bee and the little baby bees are at home and you are a worker bee, you're bringing the honey back to them. And, you know, that's just a flag that you wave. And I said this to my wife many a times. I'm just, the bear is just a growl. Once they get past that roar, once they get past the demeanor of dad being this bear, they're going to understand it was more of a koala bear, but a bear nonetheless. Have to present a certain way. I'm your dad. I'm not your friend. So, you know, that selflessness, knowing that you are a leader, but you have to consider the people that are there with you. You are the face of the team, but they're on the team too. You take their input, you take their skills. You might not be the best player on the court that night, but you have to be able to have a partner, a tandem mate that can pick up the slack. If I don't score my 30 points, I need you to get 45 tonight. And it's on you to pick the person that could be the Scottie Pippen to your Michael Jordan, the Robin to your Batman. That's on you. I come from New York, the Apollo. You got to be a good judge of character to watch the Apollo. You might boo some good talent off the Apollo if you boo them prematurely. Give them a chance to warm up. They might be nervous, but all of that you got to do in an instant, R'Shaun. And on the court, you got to do it in an instant. You got to survey your opponent. You got to check the best player on the team. You got to read the scouting report. You got to, like, all of these things and things happening in a millisecond. You got to process all of this. And I apply it to my family. Yeah, we on the same team, but we still in competition. That's what practice is. It was always a person on the end of the bench that wants your spot. It's always somebody that want to show the coach, I'm ready for this. But it ain't no competition out here. No, it is, even within our own team, because we trying to get a championship. I need you to be the best you gonna be every night. When you not, believe me, I got you. Trust me, because I'm gonna be the best I could be every night. But again, that's what, you know, I translated from team into family, and it really helped me. So being selfless, understanding that you are a cog in the machine, ultimately, and you govern yourself accordingly. Finding a partner, like I said about the Apollo, man, you got to be a good judge of character, man. You got to be able to look. You got to be able to see. This chick is about me. I'm asking questions. She's asking questions. I want to know. She want to know. But when it's one-sided, like you said earlier, I thought that's what a simp was. In my day, a simp was when you overextend. And she don't do nothing, nigga. You call every day. You text good morning. She don't never text you first. You always texting her. And then she hit you back. Yeah, I was busy. Didn't see it. Yeah, I fell asleep. Like, all of these things are signals that this is one-sided. So when you are not a good judge of character, you're not looking for the intangibles. You're not asking the pertinent questions, the follow-up questions, the rabbit hole questions. You're not going to find a good partner. But that's not about them. That's about you. You didn't do shit. All y'all talked about was who going to pay for this date, what kind of car you drive, where we going to be flying out to. You didn't ask him, what would you do if I only had one arm, nigga? What would you do if I was in a car accident? What would you do if I had all of my lady inside parts taken out? What would you do if I was down on my luck, if we was living in a box? What would you do if we was in a shelter? Would you live in a shelter with me? Being a partner and being a parent. More selflessness. You got to understand that the most important thing you could give a child is loving their fucking parent. That's the most important thing you could give a child, is loving their parent, showing them how a woman is loved up on, showing them how a man is loved up on, even when y'all don't agree, even when y'all don't see eye to eye, even when y'all ain't together, but seeing that this man is the most important man because he created you and you are the most important thing in my life. But that's how you know they be lying. Because if he's such an asshole, if she's such a bitch, how I'm so precious, how I'm so special.
That's facts.
But they really, again, like I say, R'Shaun, do they know that the record button is on? Because I'm watching everything you do. I'm watching how you jump from panel to panel, how you got 7 hours to be online, but you care about your child so much. I see how you was in the drive-thru and then you came in and jumped on somebody's panel. So you eating fast food, what you feed the baby? So, you know, again, people really think that they can just move and be them. And, you know, I can do what I want, but people watching, I'm going to tell you that. People watching, and some cerebral people watching. Like, you look like a fool. You're lying. You don't really care about the kids. You don't really care about women when every insult you use to me is women-based. Nigga, you got man titties. Wait a minute. Titties is a girl thing. Nigga, you pussy. Oh, Nick, pussy is a beautiful thing. What you talking about? I love it. Can't insult me by calling me pussy because I love that shit. Nigga, you gay. Wait a minute. Where all this come from? So, you know, finding a partner, being a parent, you got to understand that it ain't about you no more. How about giving up something to get what you want? How about loving somebody? How about being somebody's better half, being somebody's significant other, being somebody's inspiration, being somebody's rock, being somebody's good spirit to look to, being somebody's peace, all the cliches y'all use. How about actually be it? Because here's how I know y'all lying. If everything is so good, if your job is so good, your kids is so good, your car is so good, why the fuck you walk around with such an attitude for? Why you so mad all the time? Why you so ready to fight? You ready to throw your life away over stepping on your sneakers? You ready to throw your life away in a hot dog stand? You ready to throw your freedom away over anything? Anything. You ready to throw your freedom, throw your life away. But everything's so good in your life. You're a fucking liar. You're a liar. And I don't know who you trying to convince, me or you, but I know what I think already.
God dang, I ain't never ever thought I shouldn't even be on the screen on my own channel, man. I ain't never felt like this before. I don't even deserve to be on the goddamn screen. Dang, this man is eating. I love it, man. Respect, man, brother. He said that's why I watch his content so much. I'm a fan. I'm just a fan. I'm a fan, man.
I love you, bro.
That's what's up, man. Yeah, man. I should have did that earlier, man. I'm like, God dang, I don't even deserve to be on the screen, man. Let me get myself out of here, man. Get this man on the screen. Forget me.
New York, baby.
Yeah.
New York.
But what you were saying, it reminded me of my nephew used to love watching Drumline. I bought 3 copies of this DVD for this boy. 3 copies of that DVD for this boy because he burned through it. So he watched it on repeats, and I watched it with him.
That's
and
the
it was
one
his
when Chris
line.
Brown got popped, right? Chris Brown got popped.
Nah, that's Stomp the Yard. He liked that one too. Stomp the Yard, he liked that one too. Drumline is the one with Nick Cannon.
Yeah, I remember that one too. Okay,
So my nephew, it was you have to learn to follow before you can lead, Mr. Miles. And that reminded me of what you was talking about. And it gave me actually a different understanding because like I understood it conceptually, but you gave it a sports application and it like not the head knowledge but the heart knowledge. Because when you follow, you understand the importance of what good leadership does on you. Like you get the person that believes in you, sees the best in you, can say it and call it forth from you, and will stay on you until it produces itself. So then when you're in the headship, when you're in the leadership position, you're more comfortable knowing that this is what's required from everybody that's under me. It's not for me to lord over them. It's for me to make all of them greater. My job is not to just be on top, to rest on them, for them to carry my weight. My job is actually to make them the best humans they could possibly be. Better even than me. If I can do it. If I can pull that off, that's my job. So when you were saying, I'm like, man, I love it. But
Absolutely. Thank you, man.
we about to get to this last question. Last question of the night, official question of the night. Woo! All right, now listen. I know some of y'all ain't gonna like this. Well, it ain't that hairy, but you know, the language is some people ain't gonna vibe with. Does the image of George Washington and Thomas Jefferson own more slaves now as faces on money than they ever did as men.
Hell yeah. By far. By far. On TikTok, I seen a post where a young lady went on a rant, and in my comment I put up, you know, the love of money is the root of all evil. And she screenshotted it and did a rant and said, no, you know, not having money is the root of all evil. And this is where we are. We are in bizarro world where these men, you know, are being worshipped, even in hindsight, even in, you know, the face of history, that we're worshiping tangible money. That's, you know, very fleeting because it's on its way out. It's very subjective. We keep raising the debt ceiling, but again, the American way. How different is that than our households? We keep raising our credit limit. We keep pushing our limit on, you know, borrowing for cars, borrowing for houses, but not for businesses. But, you know, this is what it is. This is what America has made us, but we the dummies that bought into it, you know, because we forget our ancestors. We forget the sacrifice. We forget the Malcolms. We forget the Huey P's. We forget the Fred Hamptons. We forget the people who money didn't mean shit to these dudes, man. These dudes died broke, man. Like, money is not the end all be all, man. Like, I have to make money for my family, but I don't want to be away from them for extenuating hours of time for weeks and weeks. If I can do something to make a livable wage, to be home with my family, to see my kids grow from day one, again, this is what we don't have. This is what we've not prioritized. We've prioritized something different, and it starts to matriculate. It starts to filter through to our children. They start to idolize. They start to emulate. I come from the 90s. I wanted to be a musician. You said you was a rapper in the 90s. The immediate response was spit something. But you fast forward to now, you say you're a rapper, the immediate response is, what kind of car do you drive? Show me your jewelry. Make me believe. Show me a stack. It's about money. It's so insensitive. It takes away from creativity. It takes away from positivity. It takes away from conversation, because now we focus. We make our talking points around. We make our soapboxes on money. It's crazy. And again, from the God-fearing, when this motherfucker flipped tables over in the place where they're selling shit, where they worshiping money and all about Caesar. Like, but these are the people, and this is why I get so insensitive, and I do one show about Christianity, and it's like, these people are, why they do that? Like, serious? Come on now. How about the people who talk about the same stuff all the time? We try to dive into so many different things that when we do land on women, when we do land on Christ, when we do land on homosexuality, it's like, why'd y'all land on it? Because it's a part of the world. You want to be included, but not in my talk, not in my perspective, not in my, like, it's insensitive, you know, and I think we can do better by just being able to appreciate conversation. We can disagree without being disagreeable. So we can have the conversation. I had a stream for 5 hours the other night. R'Shaun had a stream for 3 hours right now. Me and him ain't throw no chair at each other. But the popular in this space is you can't be more than 2 hours without somebody going crazy. You can't have a conversation. No, you can. It's just, it's the company in which you keep. And if you're not keeping the pleasurable company, then deny access. And if I do that as a man, I can expect you to do that as a woman. If it's an undesirable, deny access. So, you know, I think it all applies to all of us. I think we definitely all got room to work and reflection to do. And it starts with conversation and questions like you asked, my brother. Great question.
and I want to address it because Leah actually stepped on my point. This is what I meant. I also interpret this as slavery in the way that this is a system many people do not want to be enslaved to. Money is necessary for freedom, and therein lies the paradox. If money becomes the thing that your survival is dependent upon, it now has become your master. That's your new master because it is the means of your survival, not your own self, not you and God, if you believe in God. This thing that men produced has become the means for your economic freedom. Our conception of freedom for our family and for ourselves is this thing that's either ones and zeros in a computer or pieces of paper that somebody prints. That's strange to me.
Absolutely.
That's what freedom is. Freedom to me is never needing money. But I know it's when I hear people talk freedom. Oh man, freedom! I want my family to be free. Generational wealth. We're always talking about money. I'm like, man, somebody made money. There were different monies in this country before, and they consolidated to one money. Like there were multiple. Ohio had a money. This state had a money. There were lots of monies. So it trips me out. And again, this isn't a criticism of you, Leah. I'm just saying, as a culture. As a culture, we've accepted a lot of conditions that are not natural. And we've made them natural only by the thinking of our mind.
Absolutely.
So like Greg Bryan said, if you don't live in the city and you're willing to do some work, you need very little money to survive. And what I was watching was 1923, this TV show. And they were in the old West. Not that wild, wild West, but like around, I want to say around the 1900s. 1923.
Yeah,
my bad.
Absolutely. I heard of it.
So they were
starting
to have electricity, refrigeration, and a guy was trying to sell them. And a cowboy walks up and they were saying, we sell you the refrigerator, has a freezer part, and we rent you the ice. We bring you ice on we bring it every week, every month, whatever, you buy that. He's like, well, then I go from working for myself to working for you. Because right now the work of my hand feeds me. It provides everything I need. So that's when I see slavery, if I have to work for you to eat, I'm your slave. You know what I'm saying? So that's what made me ask that question.
Customer too, and possibly for life. But for me, freedom exists in your mind. Harriet Tubman says she would have freed so many more slaves if they only knew they were slaves. Because it's a mindset. It's so many people that's in prison but still able to create, still able to not feel those chains of bondage because mentally they can go beyond those walls, and vice versa. There's some people who get locked up and all of their creativity just stifles because they are no longer in their mind able to move about and do the things that they're used to doing. So for me personally, freedom is a state of mind. Because the 5% nation and the teachings of the gods and the earths freed me from my bondage, from my mental slavery, from my captivity of living in the inner city and thinking that I can be more, that the Asiatic black man is the original man, and that knowledge, wisdom, and understanding and building and destroying and cipher and all of these things and supreme mathematics was going to make me a better person and a better man. So I really do think that freedom is something that exists in our brain. And if money can create freedom, if money was taken away, if we reached the debt ceiling, if the lights went out and your electronic banking stopped, if you didn't have any money under the mattress, what would you do if money's just eliminated, if it had no value? The last thing I'll say is that World War III is going to be fought with probably a nuclear bomb, but World War IV is going to be sticks and stones. We're going to be back to bartering and trading and creating fire from nothing and germinating seeds. Money is going to mean nothing after they throw one of these nuclear bombs. So it's that kind of thinking that I rock with, and knowing that ultimately it's being a good human is ultimately the ultimate payment. That's our ultimate currency. We can drive up and down the East Coast, and I guarantee you, if we knock on a door, somebody gonna open it. We do not have to bed and breakfast if we don't want to. We do not have to hotel if we don't want to. We have made connections with people throughout our life that we can float anywhere and be welcomed with open arms and not inconvenienced, because we reciprocate. We show the same love. So many people stop through Baltimore and use this as a stop, because it's not about money. It's about being there. Like, I got a credit card. Like, money is only just proves you a grown up. Like, all you got is a credit score. Yeah, you got a credit card with a limit. Yeah, I do too. Yeah, you got some money in the safe. Yeah, I do too. Like, we all got that. Able to keep it, able to matriculate it. All of those are different questions, but money's just money. That don't make us who we are, because I see so many lames on YouTube with money, and let me tell you what you got: a lame with money. One of the richest guys on YouTube was ranting and going, and I went in his chat, R'Shaun, and all I said was what I just said. You could give a lame money, and all you got is a lame with money. He went in on me. Oh, I see you, your little channel. You ain't even got no subscribers. And I see, oh, wow. I just said, oh, sir, calm down. I just made a statement, but it's a true statement. I don't care how much money you give a lame. Oh, you guys are a lame nigga with money.
Man. Woo. Mr. HeSaid been on it all night, on fire all night, man. I really hope y'all appreciate it. B9 Nizzle in the building, the master teacher in the chat. Man, salute to you, man. When I got to YouTube, there was a couple people, man, I really appreciate the way their mind works. When I heard them on the channels, Mr. HeSaid, B9, Yella, and Rico, who rocked with me for a minute, man, their minds, the way that they process thoughts, I love it. Next level. So that's the conversation I enjoy hearing. Which why I'm willing to just, I'm ready to just fall back and listen to certain people talk. As far as the men in the space, y'all already know it's Queen Bree over here. So as far as the women, Queen Bree, Mrs. HeSaid, and there are definitely others who I would just sit and listen to talk about a lot of things, because the way their minds process information, they can see things as they are, call them out. So these are people whose thoughts, their logic, their reason, man, appeals to me, because I'm one of those people. Someone called the fire department, man, because the dude set the bar on fire, man. All the pyrotechnics in the bar, man. The curtains caught fire. The VIP ropes done caught fire. Everything on fire. Mr. HeSaid, we gotta get him out of here.
Got you, Von Eric. I got you, bro. I seen your email, man. I haven't had a chance, but I will respond to you, man. We appreciate you, bro, and I got you,
man, for sure. But listen, everybody, now I gotta let y'all in, because y'all saw the title. Y'all probably didn't know what any of this had to do with the hustle. And if you can't see it, you're likely to get it. But I told y'all before we even started, like most hustlers do. They let you in, but you don't even see it. Because see, the first thing I told you was that you got to select a stranger. Then you got to create a sense of confidence. Then you got to appeal to emotion. Then you got to make the closing move. So, select, create, appeal, and then you make. S.C.A.M. It doesn't matter what you hear. It doesn't matter what you see. It doesn't matter if it helps you through your day. It doesn't matter if it helps you through your life. If the system that you are participating in is set up as a scam before you walk through the door, it doesn't matter how you feel about it. Everything that you see, everything that you hear is built so that you perpetuate the scam, the hustle. Doesn't matter if you think you got something out of it. The first time you play a 3-card Monte player, you win. It doesn't matter. If you don't see the hustle, you are the one being hustled. So let this whole stream be a lesson to you. You can never see, if you're a fish, you can never see the water. That's the intent. And you'll be walking around swimming, high-fiving in the chat, but the entire time somebody else knew that the entire thing was manufactured so that you participated in the very thing for them to benefit from. So understand that little small lesson I can impart to you. We all enjoyed it. We all got a lot of wisdom from it. But it was all built and designed to be a scam. So man, salute to you, Mr. HeSaid. I appreciate you for spending time with me tonight. We getting ready to rock out, head out. I want you to take a few minutes and just give us, for anybody that may not follow your channel currently right now, I'm going to drop it in the chat while you're talking. Give us a synopsis of your content. Give us a synopsis of your Harris Tribe Media content. And also give a shout out to your wife's content. And also throw in your final words if you don't mind.
True indeed, man. Thank you, man. Well, firstly, thank you for having me, man. It was a pleasure. It was an honor, and I immensely appreciate you, admire you, and love what you're doing out here in these streets. You guys over there at Critically Drinking create a narrative and a platform that is entertaining, that is thought-provoking, and I am absolutely a fan as well. I'm one half of He Said, She Said, Love and Abundance, man, and we have a whole approach. Thursday, we come from love and abundance, and that's me and the Mrs. She Said. Saturday, I have a more cerebral approach where we use more of our thinking than feeling. We use more logic. And Sunday, she has Shame Sunday, so that you are able to start your week with an inspiration of what to do or what not to do, depending on how you take it. So we have an approach, we have an agenda, and we will continue to push our narrative. Y'all come over and check us out at He Said, She Said, Love and Abundance, everywhere social. And Mr. He Said on YouTube, Mrs. She Said on YouTube. We just love being here, man. We love sharing our chronicle for our 8-year-old daughter that is going to need these lessons and these teachings when we might not be here to share them with her. So we wanted to get a video journal of what we wanted to leave her and leave everybody else. So this is what we do, man. We're going to be there. If you want to come through, please do. You will be greatly appreciated. We always have a good conversation. You may not agree, but we can disagree without being disagreeable. And make sure you do something for somebody other than yourself, because that's when real character shines through. And we feel that wholeheartedly, man. So be good, love up on somebody, and hit the like button on R'Shaun, Critically Drinking, Quabri, Yellow Pill Coffee, Candid Ann. They are doing amazing work. If you're missing it, you really need to tap in, because they are an amazing group over there putting up numbers.
Man, salute to the Harris Tribe Media, man. Appreciate the compliment, Bree. Appreciate the compliment, Ine. Go ahead and report the stream. I don't care. I got backup channels. I ain't used them yet, but I got backup channels. I ain't worried about losing this channel. I ain't worried about nothing. Get out of here. The scam, absolutely. And that's important to understand. And Nate, if somebody is ever setting up a system that you participate in, you don't get to choose whether you're getting a hustle. The only thing you can see is pay attention to the signs that they give you and know what the hustle is. Know what the scam is. Know what the game is, for sure. But we heading out. I appreciate all of y'all. I hope y'all have a wonderful evening, and I am out.
God bless the food, goddammit. God bless the food. Now, I'm gonna tell y'all something. I'm gonna end this goddamn thing. Look, where's that goddamn money bowl at? Who got that money bowl? We taking that money right now before you leave this bitch. We ain't leaving out here for free, motherfucker. Where that money bowl at? Don't have any fire this bitch off now. Where that money bowl at? Don't you? Look, don't make me shoot it. All right. Officer Tuckerson already dead motherfucker. I don't mind shooting another motherfucker. Oh.
I'ma head out. Okay? Good luck, ladies.
Thank you, everyone, for critically drinking. We are so grateful for your continued support and viewership, and we know we wouldn't be here without you, so we really appreciate you choosing to spend your time with your favorite dime. We hope that you're enjoying the show, and we promise to keep bringing you refreshing conversations week after week. Thanks again for watching, and we look forward to seeing you next time.
You retain an advantage by staying liquid.
Yeah, now, yes, you know how I felt. Imagine a used dish rag in your head. Picture it. Now imagine feeling like that.
Okay.